I forgot to turn the camera on. Oh dear. Wouldn't be me, would it, if I didn't forget to do something? Oh, let's go down a bit. Is that a bit better? I'm doing my crocheting. I was that busy doing it. I'd scheduled it to start at 9 o'clock and forgot to turn the camera on. It does help, doesn't it? Oh dear. Can't see what I'm doing. Is it raining where you are, Nathan? It's been raining here. The dogs are in a silly mood, so everybody stand by. There's going to be a lot of barking, no doubt. Oh, Syrian's crochet. Crochet a tulip granny square. Well, not right at this moment, Syrian. Yeah, the family are still away. So I can't let the dogs play out because it's just been too wet, really. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, what are you doing? Go and sit on your chair. Grandma's busy. Grandma's busy. They have been super glued to my side. Absolutely, all day. Dearie me. Well, it says there's 8 people in here, Nathan, but there's only you and me that's talking. I think the rest of them are being very shy. They're just lurking. Oh, hello, Suzanne. You're going to knit along with me. Beautiful day. Well, can you send a little bit over here, please? Because Nathan and I are sitting here in the rain. So we would appreciate if you could send a little bit of sunshine. Wouldn't we, Nathan? Yeah. We'd like a little bit of this, that's cracking the flags over everywhere else. Oh, dear. We had 2 nice days. Well, I don't know whether you did, Nathan, but we had 2 nice days. So I think that was it. That was August's weather. Oh, dear. Well, I'm up to the bit where I've got to divide now, so I think I've got to do some counting. Let me have a little read. It's your birthday Monday and it's never cold. Well, I hope so. I hope you have a nice hot day. Hope it doesn't melt your cake. Put my glasses on while I see what I'm doing. Change to be. Well, I'm not changing colour, so right, carry on. Do the next 23 stitches. Right, we'll do that bit next. I wish I could say the same thing, but my birthday's in November, so it's always cold, yeah. I'm lucky if it doesn't rain, you know what I mean? But I do hope you have a nice birthday. You're 21 again, of course, Nathan. Or have you nudged it to 22 this time? It's getting nearer to me going to Prestwich. I can't wait. Oh, they keep telling us that, Suzanne. They've been telling us that for a good while. They keep saying, heat waves are coming, heat waves are coming. And I don't know where it's coming. Because the people down south apparently are having floods and storms. They're having it worse than us. I just got a little memo thing on my phone saying how bad it's been down south. And I'm like, oh. You had to wear a coat. Well, you obviously weren't doing your steps quick enough. I can always tell the people who are local to here, people who are Fleetwood people, because they're still wearing shorts. They're wearing shorts and a t-shirt, whereas I've got my big duvet coat on, yeah? So I can always tell when they're local. I say to them things like, you were born here then, were you? They go, oh, well, if they weren't born here, they've been here about 20 years, I think they've got acclimatized to the wind and the rain. Having said that, my son's always in shorts. I don't mean little flimsy shorts. They're quite substantial shorts, yeah. You can't have any cake or chocolate because you're back on that thing again, aren't you? Well, what can you celebrate with then? Oh, I've just noticed I forgot to bring my glass. Never mind. For me drink later. What can you have to celebrate with then? Not very good if you can't have any cake and chocolate, is it? You can't have a celebratory apple, can you? Or a pear. Or you could go wild and have a banana, couldn't you? I bought some apples from Marks and Spencer's, actually, and I couldn't chew through the skin. You're a Scot who moved to Massachusetts 40 years ago. No, I don't blame you not missing the Scottish weather. I haven't heard from my family, so I don't know if it's raining up there, but I would imagine so. Hi, Julie. And I did send a message to Sue today, but I didn't get an answer, so I don't know whether it's raining up there either. Oh, dear. No, it's only another day, innit, Nathan? Hopefully you'll have many, many more. Well, you will if you want to catch me up. Yeah. I did sit outside momentarily with the doggies, but it wasn't all that warm out there. It wasn't exactly snowing or anything, but bear with me while I have a count. I've forgotten how many I'm supposed to be doing now. Oh, my goodness me. Put your glasses on, child. Put them on. The eyesight's getting worse, yeah. 23 stitches and then chain 88 for the back. I think I've done more than 23. Right, let's have a little look. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23. Oh, I've gone wild. Gone way past where I'm supposed to go to. Way past. Which steps? Or to get your steps in? 30 mile a week. Oh my God, I don't think I've done 30 mile this year. Mind, I can't walk anyway. My daughter-in-law thinks I should get up and go for a run, you know. I wish I could. I honestly wish I could. I used to love walking. Oh, my beads keep going inside. Shad comes on, I'll be wondering where my beads have gone. I used to love going for a walk, especially when we had the dog. Well, when I had my dog, Buster. We used to walk forever. Right, I'm going to go a bit quiet now because I'm going to be counting. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 68, 69, 70. God, how many more? 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88. Yay, 88. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Don't you hate it when you're in mid-count and you sort of stumble count? Right, what have I got to do next? I should have done all this before I started. 180, yeah. Right, leave the next 88 stitches unworked. Double crochet in the next 23. Why is it rumbling outside? I do hope that it's a plane going by and not thunder. Right, 3, 6, 7, 10, 11, 14, 15, 18, 19, 20. I think it's there. It must have been a plane because it's gone now. We have a lot of planes coming over here. Sometimes they come over at absolutely terrifyingly noisy because we're near where the Navy, I think it is, or the Air Force, test their planes. So we do get this, go by. Which, especially when you're having a lie-in on a Sunday morning, is not very nice. Oh, do you know, I've done this pattern about I don't know how many times before. But, I think I'm having a brain fade. Well, I don't think. I know I'm having a brain fade, yeah. Now, it says I've got 18 people in here and only 6 thumbs up. Come on, wavy, 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 wavy. Who's not doing it? Auntie Janet will get across if she doesn't get her little thumbs ups. Got weird thumbs, haven't I? I've got my dad's thumbs. Well, I haven't got his thumbs, obviously, but I take after my dad for thumbs. I think they're called brachy or something, or it means they're short, fat, and the nails are square, weird thumbs. Can't grow my nails on the thumbs because they grow out at a funny angle. My dad's were exactly the same. He had to cut his very, very short. If I had those fake nails put on, they would stick out at a very alarming angle. Hello, Amanda. How are you doing? I'm getting me wool in a tangle. Wouldn't be me if I didn't get a knot, would it? Wouldn't be me. I've been really, really thirsty all day. I think it's because I forgot to take me tablets last night. So I think my diabetes is a bit up the wall, but don't tell anybody. Yeah, I've been very naughty today. I watched Denise on Dear Designs, and she'd been on a firm called Woolly Knits, and they had acrylic machine combs. They're 4-ply, some were on sale at £6. So, of course, it'd be rude, wouldn't it? Some were 12, but some were 6, yeah. Oh, little treats. Well, I've got to have little treats, Suzanne. You've got to have little treats. Right, well, I've got my division. Now, what am I doing next? Tell you think I've never seen this pattern before, won't you? All right, here we go. Double crochet into the next 3 double crochets. Working in double knit and chain. Skip 3, skip the next 3 stitches. So you got to work in pattern. I see, said the blind man when he didn't see at all. Oh, to you at all, phone. It won't be anything important. It never is. It's never, would you like to go out for a drink tonight, Janet? It never is any of that. Never any of that. It's always something stupid to do with Meghan and Harry. Or something Hindustani Times telling me what my horoscope will be. On the Hook with Jeannie. Summer Cabana cover-ups. Oh, really? How to crochet some nice earrings by Mary Fu, whatever. Ecology is live now. Right. back to square one. Hi, Kaz. Nothing on the TV. You come to bed early. Oh dear, somebody's having a party across the road, are they? You always get one, don't you? We're pretty lucky round here. I don't know whether it's because we're all mostly old codgers, you know. There's never much loud music knocking about. Very occasionally, you know, if it's New Year's or something like that, we do get a bit of music. Sometimes we get next door having a sing-song. They're very fond of Jim Reeves. I think I told you we have the 4 young men, but 4 older men living next door that are special needs, yeah. And they do like a little sing-song. Oh, put your earplugs in, Kaz. Get your earplugs stuck in. You'll be all right. You have got them in, all right. Can we talk about you then if you've got your earplugs in? We can all say things about Kaz because she can't hear, but you don't write them down because she can read. Yeah. Dearie me. I've got Bark the dogs. Bet you'll hear them when they start, whether you've got your earplugs in or not. I'm sure Rosie's got Tourette's or something. She's absolutely, oh, absolutely she is. Full of herself. Oh gosh, Janet, you got to go into the chain, haven't you? Oh, oh dear. I knew I shouldn't be doing this while I'm supposed to be on here. I knew it. I knew it. Crocheting into chain is not my favourite thing in the world. But doing it live, not good. 1, 2, 3, miss 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, my finger ends are not working either today. It's persisting. It's been persisting down here. It's persisted down on Nathan. But Suzanne has had nice weather. But she doesn't live in England. But the people down south are having it terrible, I believe. I just keep wondering about Shan, because she's down south, isn't she? Down south. Hope she's not been swamped away. The family's in Scotland, so I don't know whether they're having bad weather, good weather, or what. Well, it has been quite windy here, but then again, it's always windy here. So, you know, a severe weather warning doesn't really cut a lot of ice around here because we just think, oh, it's a bit windier than normal. But down south's supposed to have floods and all sorts, aren't they? I just read a little bit of it before I came on here. Hi, Tommy Tornado. Is that is that what you're calling yourself because the weather's bad, or are you normally called Tommy Tornado? Oh dear. 1, 2, 3. We mostly craft on here, Tommy. You don't have to craft on here, but you know, it does help because we're all a bit crackers. So as long as you're not a troll or you're not a horrible whatever, we don't mind. Oh, I've got in a knot. Did your mother give you that name, Tommy? No, I don't think it's his real name, no. But a lot of people have pseudonyms, as do you, Kaz, because I don't think Kaz Raz is your real name. Oh dear. As long as he's not a troll, we're all right, aren't we? I was reading somewhere, I think it was Star Lily Creations. She was saying how many new subscribers she's got. And then in the next breath, she was saying how many people have been giving her negative comments. And I'm thinking, well, it's a lot of averages, really. And if you've got 1 million more subscribers, you're bound to get loads more negative comments. It sort of goes with the, the thing, doesn't it? But she was acting like she was so surprised. Oh, thank you. You're respectful. If you were respectable, I would say you were on the wrong channel, but never mind. Because we're all a bit loopy on here. Well, I think we are. I don't think we're totally sane if everybody has their... Oh, you'd have to excuse me, I'm counting. I don't usually do this live on air. I usually have everything done and dusted before I started. I knew I should have picked up my knitting because I knew where I was up to with that. I look as though I'm making a ladder now, don't I? Tra-la-la-la-la. If I sing loud enough, do you think the dogs will stay asleep? Oh, it's your name and your hubby's name. Kaz for Carol, Raz for Ray. Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, I don't think anybody goes around going, hi, Kaz Raz. I bet that's not on your badge when you're at work, is it? Bet you don't have Kaz Raz. Oh, dear. Has a good ring to it. Ding-a-ling. There's not as many people in tonight. I don't know where everybody is. It says there's 26 people in, but where are they all? Hi, Chris. Hi, darling. Kaz is with us with her earplugs in because they're having a party across the road. And she's got loud music. And she's got to get up for work in the morning. And Nathan's been putting his steps in. I don't mean carpentry, I mean, you know, like walking. Yeah, but would you have gone, Kaz, if they'd have invited you? Was it your kind of party? Or not? Hi, Chrissy B. Oh, you give your thumbs up. I'm so glad because there's only 12 thumbs and 28 people in here, and it doesn't quite add up, does it? You know. Hi, Diane. So if you've all put your thumbs up, there's a lot of people haven't, isn't there? I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. You like a party and a good dance? I was watching Tracy Crochet Rocks. I do. And she was out at somebody's wedding, you know, like... And you know what we're like when we get a little bit older. We forget and we think we're 21. And then we dance the night away and the following morning we can't move, yeah. Yeah. Sadly, that's usually me because I try to forget I've got a bad back when I go dancing. Well, I don't often go dancing, but you know. So I pump myself up full of painkillers and think, yes, I'm going to have a dance. And then the following day, oh, boy, do I regret it. Because I realised then that I am not 21 anymore and that I am an old fogey that should not be cavorting about a dance floor. Right, I'm going to see if I've got the right number of ladders now. Let's see if I match. If I don't, I'm in trouble here. I'm in trouble again, Lippy. That was a cartoon, wasn't it, I think? Do 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 do. I've been singing that all day. It's from West Side Story, isn't it? Could it be? Yes, it could. Something's coming, something good. If I can wait. Aye. It's all right, it's right, it's right. Hi, Lisa. You have to excuse me, I was counting. I was counting. Hi, Munchkin. Hi, Munchkin. You're not that late to the party. Yeah. Actually, the party's across the road from Kaz's. They're playing. What kind of music are they playing, Kaz? Are they playing our kind of music so we can have a little bit of a bop? I always think it's a shame that we can't have some music on. I'd love a bit. I'd love some music on. But you're not allowed. You get flagged for copyright for a bit of music. Yeah, we can all go round to Kaz and listen to it for free. It sounds like the 60s. Oh, that's okay then. Yeah. I wouldn't mind that, Kaz. I'll come round. 1, 2, 3. I've managed to get it right. Alive. The Moody Blues. Could be. I like that channel on TV where they play, sometimes it's 60s music, sometimes it's 70s, sometimes it's 80s. And I like listening to the older music. I'm a bit of an old fuddy-duddy. I'm not into all this music. Oh, the song from West Side Story, yeah. My brother used to have the LP when the first West Side Story came out, Oh, I love it. I loved it. It's a bit sad, isn't it, though? Star-crossed lovers and all that jazz. Very sad, Didn't like the ending. I like a happy ending. I'm a bit of a sucker for a happy ending. I'm being given the death stare by Trixie for some reason or another. It's like, why are you not sitting on this chair? And why am I not sitting all over you? Why are you sitting on the opposite one? Yeah, my brother had the soundtrack to the original one. Gone back many moons ago. Gosh, that must be a long time ago. Well before I was ever married, yeah. Yeah. It was sad, wasn't it? I would imagine all the people. You have it 1961. All the people who were in it have probably all passed away now, haven't they? All I can remember is Rita Marino. Oh, you like my window view, do you? A postcard of animals, statues in the courtyard. Yeah, my elephants, yeah. With a blazing sun. That's me. The what do you call it? Reflection of my salt lamp shining on the window. Russ Tamblyn, Natalie Wood, was she in it as well? Oh, they're probably all long gone, bless them. I wonder if we'll remember the so-called stars of today in many, many years ago. You're in Wales. Oh, how nice. I used to live in Wales, for a year when I was little. I'm from Manchester. Well, I'm from Oldham, really. Lived in Manchester for 50 odd years and for some stupid reason moved to Fleetwood about 2 years ago. Why? I have no idea. Would I go back? In a heartbeat. Do I like Fleetwood? No, not a lot. It seemed like a good idea to move to the seaside. That's all I will say. But having lived here for almost 3 years, it wasn't a good idea to move to the seaside. It's blooming cold and windy. And the sea is nothing like it is in Barbados. Yeah. I think that's what I had in mind, really, when I thought move to the seaside. I think I had something like Barbados in mind, yeah. You're in Birmingham and you'd swap me? I don't think you would, love, no. Stay in Birmingham once, kid, it's much better. Oh. No, I lived in Wales for a while when I was about 7 years old. I lived in a little village called Llanfairtelhal, which is between Betsy Coed and Llanrwst. It's near to Abergele. But I only lived there for a year, yeah. Hi, Julie. It's blowing a gale in Dorset. Yeah, I believe you've got the bad weather down there. Yeah. Cheltenham. All I can think about Cheltenham is the races. Is there a race course, isn't there, in Cheltenham? Cheltenham Gold Cup, I can remember. Don't watch horse racing, but I can remember that being on the telly. You live on Anglesey. Oh, my bridesmaid, who I've lost touch with many years ago, now lives on Anglesey. And I've lost touch with her, and I'm really sad about it. Because she's not on Facebook or anything, yeah. So, yeah, I've been to Anglesey a couple of times, yeah. Hi, Suzanne. Oh, where? Oh, stop it. Yeah, horse racing. Yeah, the race course is near you. Oh, I love Tenby. I've been to Tenby a few times. It's lovely down there. Oh, for goodness sake. Hiya, Lucy. Hiya. Hiya, Miss Greek Stitcher. Yeah, I love Tenby. I've been a few times. Mostly when I was younger, when I used to go. I used to go with my friend, the one I was talking about who's finished up in Anglesey, which I've lost touch with. I used to go away with her mum and dad. We always went to a caravan in Tenby. It was always lovely. The weather was always nice as well. We always was lucky with the weather. Oh, I've got to join my ball of wool in the middle. What am I making? Well, I'm making all these sweet young things that come on these YouTubes, you know, the TikToks and everything, think that they've invented these little top things. But this is from 2012 by the Double Stitch Twins. So they're not exactly doing something new, are they? As my mum would say, it's old times with vinegar on. Yeah. You went to Snowdonian camping and it was freezing. I do remember when I lived in Wales, actually, it was winter time and it was rather cold. I can remember being snow on the ground and trudging my way to school. We lived in the tiniest little village. You know, everybody knew everybody. And, you know, I think the whole school was about 12 kids, but, you know. So I spent 12 months in a Welsh school, I didn't learn one. Well, I think I learned we plough the fields and scatter in Welsh, I think and I did learn a bit of the Lord's Prayer. But surprisingly enough, you know, when I did come back, I wasn't that far behind, even though I had a year. No, well, we were there in the summer, but then we were there in the winter as well. And I think we went back home again in the summer. I know I was there for about a year when I was 7. I don't know quite why we went. It was just a yen to go. Oh, I lived in a totally Welsh-speaking village because it was a very tiny village at the time. And I used to play with the Welsh children, and I never learnt anything. I suppose if I'd have been older, I would have picked things up a bit more. You're getting on great with your blankets. Oh, I can't do blankets. You know me. Oh, is Esther? Oh, Esther, wherever. I miss somebody. Yeah. You made one last week. Yeah, but what gets me, Suzanne, is the fact that they're acting like they've invented the wheel, aren't they? You know, like, oh, look what I've made, look what I've designed. And I'm like, no, come off it. You haven't designed anything. Ooh, who's between you and Tommy? How dare they get between you and Tommy? Woohoo! Oh, dearie me. Well, I'm hoping my son's coming back tomorrow because my daughter-in-law's not. Oh, Esther is right. Oh, hello, Esther. I missed you coming in. I want to go to Knit Club on Monday. And I know they say I can leave the dogs, but I won't leave them. You know, they're just... Funny enough, I had a message from Trev. He was showing me a web page that sold like wool and haberdashery. So I actually got a text message from Trev. That's funny, you should ask about it. The other day, got a message from Trev. Hey, Trev. As I said before, I've been very naughty. I've ordered, I think it's 5 machine cones, which I should not have been ordering. They're 4-ply acrylic, and I will blame Denise for that. Denise from Dear Designs, I will blame her. They were from, oh my God, I've forgotten where they're from now. Anyway, they were only £6. So, you know, it would have been rude. 350 grams, £6, plus the postage, of course. But I did order one that was £12, but it was purple. And in my defence, you know how much I love purple. So, you know, for some strange reason, purple wasn't in the sale. Well, it wouldn't be, would it? Hello, Tinkerbella Rosa. Woolly Knits, that's the one, Amanda. Yes. I've not seen them before, actually. It was Denise that recommended them. I shouldn't be ordering anything because, as you know, I am trying to de-stash, not upstash. Is that the word? Is that a word? Upstash? Yeah. Well, I'm going to draw the curtains in a moment now because it's getting quite dark. And I don't want people thinking I'm a bit doolally talking to myself. Although I don't think my neighbours would even notice, but never mind. Unlike Kaz's neighbours, they are not having a party. Ooh, I'm going to draw the curtains now. If I can get up. Oh. Sleeping with Trixie makes you sleep in very awkward positions, which does not help your back. She may only be small, but she takes up a lot of room. Oh, dearie me. I'm going to put the light on. And I've lost a dog somehow. I've lost a dog. She's probably in my bedroom. Rosie likes to be quiet, so there's my dress. I don't know where people think my waist is, but it's definitely not up there. And they gave me a belt as well. I mean, what do you put a belt under your bust? You want a belt round your waist, don't you? I've come to the conclusion that people abroad must have tiny boobs, yeah. Oh, what have I missed? The nights are drawing in, they certainly are. I love a good bargain. You like the dress? I'll send it you. Except you're a lot smaller than me. Oh, it's that wonderful fabric from Shein or Shine or whatever. You know. The only good thing about them is they wash and they don't... Yeah, but why would they give you a belt, Julie? You know, I mean, you don't want a belt under your bust, do you? I mean, I don't mind it being an Empire line, but why give me a belt? Yeah. We haven't had a summer yet. No, we haven't, have we? We've had a few days. Oh, excuse me, I've got hiccups. We had 2 nice days, yesterday and the day before. They were quite nice, but today, nah. I got up and I thought, oh, different day, different day. Now, I've ordered 2 new colours. I'm hoping that one of them might go with this dress. Not that I like the dress very much, but I might improve if I had a cardigan that matched. Because you know me, beige is not my colour. 8 degrees, it's 12 here. So, as you know, I follow Sheila. You know, she lives up in Newcastle. She had a heating pad on her knees today. I mean, I've got the back door open, which doesn't help, but, you know, it does help for the little ones if they want to go and have a little tinkle while I am chatting. But I actually think I'm going to go and close it because I am feeling a little bit cold, and I'm sure they'll ask me if they need to go out. So I'm just going to go. I won't be a moment. Just going to close the back door. Oh. I get my steps in walking to the kitchen. The kitchen's the other side of that wall, the other side of you. But I have to go out of there, all along the hall, and into the kitchen to get a glass and to close the back door. So I get my steps in, just going to the kitchen and back. Oh. Right, what have I missed? Oh. No, I don't know whether it's because I've got boobs. You just walk to the fridge. Oh dear. I don't know if it's because, you know, you're supposed to be flat-chested to wear these dresses or what. But most of the dresses I get these days hit me under the bust instead of at the waist. But it tickles me when they give me a belt. Like, what do I do? Tie it around my hair? Go hippie? You know, like the guys used to do with their ties. You know, back in the hippie times when they used to tie the tie and have it. A bit like, what was he called? Off the Rolling Stones. Keith Richards. He used to wear his tie around his hair, didn't he? You just walk to the fridge. What have you got nice for me then? What have you brought for me to eat or drink while you were in the fridge? What did you get? We all want to know, don't we? Because we're all jealous. Again, come on, I've got 20 thumbs up and there's 42 people in my room. Come on now, that's not even half of you. Thumbs up. Please. I used to have a waist, but as I said before, I have got a very long memory. Now, I've got a hernia. Sure you wanted to know that, didn't you? That comes right across my waist. So that doesn't help, does it? But they keep telling me it's not a hernia that they want to operate on. So I don't know. You went to the fruit bowl to get an apple. Oh, I got some apples from Marks and Spencer's, but I was quite disappointed. Because you know I had my teeth filled at the front and I can't bite anything. I can't chew my way through the apple. I'm going to have to peel them or something. I might peel them and stew them and make them into, like a dessert or something. I bought some pears, but I've not tried them yet. They were a little bit hard. I think they need a bit longer on the fruit bowl, yeah. But I'm sure they'll get eaten. The dogs like apples, actually. So I don't know what these are. They are quite tasty, but I had the front teeth filled, and since I've had them filled, I can't bite into anything. Well, I can, but I'm scared of breaking the fillings off. But I am going to go back, but not to that dentist. I'm going to go to another dentist in the same practice because I am not happy with her fillings. They shouldn't be rough, should they? And spiky at the back. I think the filling stuff she made, I don't think she's very good at mixing it. I've never had fillings that were rough and ready. It's almost like, if you had the plasterer in and somebody came in and put the rough coat on and they didn't come back and put the top coat on. It's almost like that, really. Every filling I've ever had in the past has been lovely and smooth, but these aren't. But I don't feel like going back to her because I don't think she's that clever. There's loads of dentists in the same practice, so I'm going to, go and say, oh, why are you going somewhere, Julie? Are you leaving us already? Is it something we've said? Yeah, it's a bit like Artex behind my teeth. You're right there, Nathan. It's not smooth at all. I can feel it with my tongue. Sharp. When it gives you bubbles on your tongue because you play with your teeth, yeah. Is Julie leaving us? Is she going? Yeah. Are you still listening to the party, Cass? You need some sleep. Oh, I think I do as well, Julie. I slept with a French bulldog last night. It's not fun. It is very annoying. It's like, and this one here's got like down the side of it, sharp. You feel like you could put your tongue inside it. It's that sharp. She made a pig's ear of it for sure. I don't know when she qualified, but she should go back again, I think, and get retrained. She was the one who jabbed me. I nearly come out. She got that close to being punched, I tell you. I've had so many injections in my lifetime and never one like that. And I'm yelling at her to stop, and she just carried on going. Oh my God. What if it does go on through the night? Go and knock on the door and join in. If you're going to be kept awake, you might as well go and dance, yeah. You could say, excuse me, you're keeping me awake. Do you mind if I come and join you? La 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 la. Got no shag tonight yet. You need to sleep. No, it's just a fallacy that you don't need your sleep. I regularly go all through the night without sleep. If I can't get off to sleep, I try for about an hour, then I just get up. Read or something like that. I can't read in bed. I can't sit up in bed. I've got to get up. And then sometimes I'll nod off in my recliner. How many hours on average do I sleep? Probably about 6. Yeah, Shad might have gone fishing. I don't think you need as much sleep when you get older. Oh yeah, how's your move going? Have you packed up anything yet, Chris? Are you all packed up, ready to go? You do 8 to 10. On a good day, I'll do 8. I mean, I did actually get a good, well, I didn't get a good night's sleep. I went to sleep about 2 o'clock. The dogs had me up at 6. I gave them their breakfast and then I persuaded them that we would go back to sleep again. And then I got up at 11. But it wasn't in one full go. So I probably had 4 hours and then, maybe another 4 or 5. But when it's not in one go, it doesn't feel like it. Your back's recovering. Have you damaged it more, or is it just you're not having a good week? Oh, you need to get those blackout curtains, Kaz. You know, I've got them with the blackout linings on the back because I'm facing the sun, so it would be very bright in the morning for me. Yeah, you can get linings. You don't have to change your curtains. They're quite cheap. I used to get them and just hang them on the same. Oh, it's very quiet here. Mostly retired people. So it is so quiet. We've got 4 men living next door to us that, are in care in the community. They have issues. One of them's Down syndrome. I'm not sure what's wrong with the others, but we don't hear them. And to say we've got 3 teenagers living next door this other side, I mean, we are detached, I have to say that. But to say we've got 3 teenagers living next door, we don't hear them. Yeah. The most we ever hear is, well, hello, we have gotten a very amusing troll by the sound of it. Oh, we always get one. They think they're amusing, but actually they're pretty boring, really, aren't they? They're pretty boring. Yeah, that's the kind of troll we get. Yeah, that's what we were just inquiring whether you were a troll. I hate clowns. Yeah, I don't like clowns either. There must be nothing on the telly tonight if we're getting trolls again. Must be an out on. Must be boring for the little souls. That's a bit of a long name for anybody to be real, Chris. I hope you know them. Oh, hi, Lydia. Reminds you that, was it Awesome Pfeffer, Cats and Ellenbogen by the Sea? Gilly Gilly, Awesome Pfeffer, Cats and Ellenbogen by the Sea. That's what it was, wasn't it? I think it was Max Bygraves used to sing that, yeah. Does he watch as much TV, or do I? I don't watch hardly any TV. Oh, was it your birthday, Lydia? Happy birthday, Lydia. Happy birthday. I won't sing to you. I will not inflict my voice upon you. I don't really like a lot of stuff on TV. I don't like quiz shows and I hate reality shows. You know that. Who cares who's in Love Island? I don't care. So, I just don't. Oh, God, poor soul. I have pity for you, Lydia, if you have to share your birthday with her. No, I'm not into TV shows like that. Oh, they didn't wish you a happy birthday. Oh, yeah. I'm a pink toothbrush, you're a blue toothbrush. Yeah, that's right. Hey, when you get to my age, Tommy, they come around rum and quick, I'll tell you. 1 minute you're 50, the next you're 77. You know what happened in between? Oh. 1, 2, 3. Hey ho. Oh, the birthday of their late Queen Mother. That's better. You usually go out for a nice meal. Yeah, I mean, we do sometimes. I must admit, I wouldn't say I was a social creature when I was younger, but as you get older, it's sort of like been it, done it, been there, Although I am looking forward to going out for a meal when I go back to my old hometown. Hi, John. I'm looking forward. There's a nice Italian restaurant there. A bit jaded, yeah, definitely jaded these days, yeah. It's kind of like, your brain still thinks you're 25, but your body says, you know. Hi, Yolanda. Yeah, I actually quite like going out to lunch, Lydia, yeah. Rather than an evening meal these days, it's nice to go out. Be one of the ladies for lunch. Yeah, he just goes by the name of John now. It's like the artist formerly known as Prince, isn't it? Well, it's the artist formerly known as John. We know who he is. We don't mind. I was reading somewhere. What was I reading? I read things and I immediately forget. Something about people having to have their real names on something or other. I don't know what it was. I thought, oh, yeah, in an ideal world, yes, it would be that. Laser Quest. Oh dear, nobody wouldn't want to join in if you've had that done, would you? Just in case somebody zapped you in the wrong place. I mean, I believe they do. It does actually hurt sometimes, that laser thing, Laser Quest. Yeah. I am sure you will be fine, Julie. And if you are, we will all send our best wishes to feel better. If we all give Julie positive vibes, it does work, doesn't it? Vibes, positive vibes. Yeah. I'm a great believer in sort of thinking good things if everybody thinks good things that they happen. Yeah. I'm a firm believer in that. Yeah. Don't believe in negative thoughts because they are bad for everybody. There's too many naysayers. There's enough of them on flipping YouTube, for goodness sake. If I switch over to one more Tale of Doom, I'm like, oh, for goodness sake, cheer up, loves. Some people have got a permanent like, oh, I hate it, you know. Oh, we'll get our fingers crossed that you just need radiotherapy. Positive vibes are coming your way. There's so many negative people knocking about, and I don't know why. You know, heck, we're on this journey. We've got a whoever space of time. We don't know how long we're going to have. So I would rather spend the day with happy thoughts, feeling lovely, than be a misery, telling everybody, oh, woe is me and I'm not feeling well, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, turn the record over, for goodness sake, it's boring. Yeah. Evadne Price. Think lucky and you will be lucky. Yeah, I firmly believe that, you know, you're only here for a short length of time. As I said, we don't know how long. So I would rather be happy and think happy than be a misery. Yeah. I mean, we can all do it. You get up some mornings and you want to whine and you want to moan and you want to carry on and you think, oh. But at the end of the time, you know, it's up to you, isn't it, how you make yourself feel? You know, I have chronic pain some days, but I get out of bed and I go out because my attitude is you are going to be in pain if you're laying in bed, you're going to be in pain if you go out. So go out. Yeah, that's the best attitude to have, Julie. You've got to get on with your life and make the best of everything because we never know, do we, what's around the corner. And to be quite honest, I don't think I would like to know what's around the corner. When my time is up, I would like it to be a big surprise. A fox calls at your house at night, what does it mean? It means you're very popular, or maybe you've got food around that it likes to eat. Maybe you are its chosen person. Yeah, I try to think of something nice when I get up. You know, thinking something in your mind. It is your decision when you get up in the morning, whether you're going to make it a good day or not, really. Admittedly, you know, some people want to rain on your parade. You can't help that. You always get the miseries that want to rain on your parade, don't you? I just don't take any notice of them, yeah. What got me into YouTube? I actually started off writing, do they call them a blog? Where I used to write on that every day and put photographs on. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is hard work. You know, it was putting photographs on my crocheting on, telling people about it. And then one day I thought, what am I doing? I might as well just put the camera on and talk to people and tell them what I'm doing. And it was merely my sort of love for my craft and wanting to reach out to other people who had similar um, kind of hobbies to me. You know, because I lived on my own, I was single, I was divorced, and I won't say lonely, I wasn't lonely, but I just wanted to reach out to like minded people, you know, because being, well, disabled, as you put it, I wasn't able to go out and about and meet people in the normal way. So this was my way of getting to know people, yeah. Someone in your life's trying to trick you. Oh no, John, it just means he or she loves you and you are feeding it. And nobody's trying to trick you at all. That's an old wives' tale, John. Don't believe that. Oh, thank you, Kaz. Yeah. No, I have made a lot of. I like to think of them as friends, even though I will probably never ever meet them. But I get to know them through YouTube, and to me, it's my social way, social life, whatever. When you're stuck in the house and you can't get out as much as you might, yeah, I've got a mobility scooter and I do go out to knit clubs and I do meet people. I'm not like a misery old stay-at-home person. But it isn't as easy for me to go out and about and make friends. It's not as easy. And especially when I moved to Fleetwood 3 years ago and knew no one. You've just got to start, haven't you, somewhere, you know. So I didn't want to sit in the house. It was COVID when we moved here. So I couldn't go into a cafe. I couldn't go anywhere to chat to people. So like the YouTube was my way of staying in touch with people that I wanted to stay in touch with. People who, you know, oh, thank you, Yolanda. Yeah. It's, you know, I would rather not like sit feeling miserable, woe is me, nobody loves me, I don't have any friends, I don't know anybody. I'd rather not do that. I'd rather reach out. So my way of reaching out is I go to knit clubs. I've got some friends that I meet at the cafe. Once a week we meet at the cafe. We have a little bit of brunch or lunch or whatever you want to call it. I did used to go singing, although I cannot sing, but I used to go singing, but it got that I was cold. And then also one of them was the evening and when it was winter and it was cold weather and everything, and I just didn't like going out in the dark, you know, on this mobility scooter. You feel very vulnerable, like, you know. So I tend not to go out at night, yeah. But so I dropped the singing. I probably they're probably very grateful I did drop the singing because I don't have a voice. But you have to put yourself out there if you want to, you know, make friends. You can't sit in your room. Nobody's going to come and knock on the door and say, "Do you want to go and play out like they did when you was kids?" You know. Yeah. Oh, go away wherever it is. You've got to go. You're going into town. Ooh, whoopie doo, John. Don't forget to feed your fox when you come back. And your fox is nothing to do with anything. It's an old wives' tale. It's just the fox likes you feeding it, so it comes back. And if it's a lady fox, it could have cubs, so you could be feeding those as well. So you've got to think about that. Be nice to the wildlife. I follow a lady on YouTube and she's got a little fox that she feeds that comes into her garden. She calls it Socks the Fox. That's SOX, socks, because it has little white paws. So she calls it Socks the Fox. And it actually brought its babies to her for her to feed them as well. She gives it raw chicken. It's no wonder it keeps coming back, is it? She's so funny because when she went to Australia for 3 weeks, and so she had her neighbour feeding it while she was gone. Yeah. Tin of red paint and a paintbrush. Who's going to paint it? Actually, it's a lot easier than you think, Tommy. You know, you just don't think about who's watching you. When I first started it, I just did it for about half a dozen of my friends. And so I never even thought about it when it grew, you know, the channel grew. So I never think, oh my God, all these people are watching me. I never think that at all. I just think I'm in a room full of friends and, you know, I'm just having a chat. Yeah. And that's the way I think about it. You know, I don't think, oh my gosh, I'm the star of stage, screen, and radio. Because I'm a very small fry in a very big ocean. Yeah. Oh, he's going to paint the town red, is he? Way. Oh, you don't want, no, you won't feed the fox. No, you'll be thinking the fox will get his sheep. Foxes have got bad reputations, but they're only, it's nature, isn't it, after all? They want to eat. you know. But if you've got any hens, just lock them up, you know. But I don't believe in this fox hunting and stuff like that. If you have to kill a fox, at least do it humanely. You know, if it is becoming a problem and you have to, you know, kill it, it's, you know, got to be humane, hasn't it? It's not chasing it across a field on a horse. I mean, that's not humane, is it? Scaring the poor little sausage to death. You know, the hound's getting hold of it. No, that's not sport. That is not sport. I'm not in favour of anything like that. Not badger baiting or anything. No, if you have to kill an animal, do it humanely. You know, there's a reason why. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a vegetarian by any stretch of the imagination, but I would like to think that if I was eating meat, that it had been killed humanely. You know, like one shot and it's gone, you know. Baby foxes. I don't think, are they called kittens? I don't know. No, I don't like bullfighting. No. I don't like anything that torments animals. I know it's very popular to have these rodeos in America, isn't it? But I can't say I'd find it very much fun. Oh, they're called cubs. Yeah. I didn't think they were called kittens, but I thought, well, I won't say anything because I don't really know. You know what they say, if in doubt, say doubt. I've got my glass. To be quite honest, I don't really like boxing. You know. Who are your happy birthday in? Are you happy birthday in Lydia? Right, that's okay. Just checking. Oh, that's terrible, isn't it? Yeah. I have got a mojito from M&S. So it's party night. If I start going a bit giddy. It's only a small one. It's only a tiny one. It won't even fill the glass. Yeah, I raised my glass to Lydia for her birthday. Even though there's not much in my tin. Apart from that. Not much in my mojito. What the heck? What the heck is wrong with the dogs? What's wrong with you two? Rosie, what's the matter? Rosie, come on, darling. Rosie. Rosie. She's having a drink of water. Yes, I would say happy birthday, Lydia, with my mojito. Now, I know you shouldn't make fun of anybody. I love Sheila from Newcastle with Sheila's Knit and Natter. But she had some yarn the other day and she's looking at it and she goes, oh, I don't know how you pronounce this. She said, is it Dietary? It was Dietary. You saw somebody getting arrested out your window today. You heard some shouting, and they had a guy in handcuffs and drove him away. Ooh! And I bet you never find out what happened. That's the annoying thing, isn't it? When you see something happening like that and you never know why, and nobody ever tells you. So you're living your life in suspense because you don't know what the problem was. Oh, what's that? The little dog just came right up underneath my legs. She frightened the life out of me. She just brushed against my legs. What do you want? You're not having any crisps? No. Where's Rosie? Where did Rosie go? Three squad cars. Must have been something serious then. Don't usually get 3 squad cars, do you? Not for a shoplifter. Oh dear. Swallowed the crisp without chewing it. Can't see my beads. They're just the wrong length. They keep going inside my dress. It's not that clever round here, Tommy. If you go into Fleetwood itself, luckily we're at the very quiet end. I'm near to Cleveland. But Fleetwood town centre, it has some antisocial behaviour. But having said that, where I came from, Manchester's got really bad. I still have my Manchester Evening News online. And every day it's somebody being stabbed, somebody, oh. It's not the Manchester I know and love. I don't know why there's so much antisocial behaviour in every town. I'm not calling out Fleetwood, I'm just calling out most towns. Blackpool is full of dossers. And door holes everywhere. I don't know whether they come attracted to the fact that there might be holiday makers who may have money. And then they can beg and they get money for drugs. I don't know whether that's what brings them to Blackpool, but that's what brings them to Manchester. Manchester used to, doss means they just sleep rough. You know, dossing door holes and whatnot. Sleeping rough in a door hole. Call them dossers. Every town has them. There used to be a beautiful gardens in Manchester called Piccadilly Gardens. Gorgeous. It was grass and flowers and fountains, and you could go and sit and eat your sandwiches and the children could play. And now it's full of people high on spice and other kind of drugs. The stabbings, everything there every night. You wouldn't dare go into Piccadilly Gardens now. It's a no-go zone at all. I'm not teetotal, Tommy. I do have a drink. Having said that, this drink is one of those little piddly things, you know, with hardly any alcohol in it. I might have one of these every now and again. But I'm not really. I had a problem with alcohol when my marriage was breaking up. Not proud of it, but it was the only way that I could blot out the pain of what he was up to. Well, I'm not going into that anyway. But I did drink far too much and it was affecting me. But at the time, it was something that I needed to do to just blot out reality, really, or whatever you want to call it. Then as soon as my marriage ended, I thought, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? You do not need the alcohol. And I stopped, yeah. So, no, I very rarely, I can go a week, 2, 3, 4 weeks even without one. Council estate means that the town that you live in, can I explain a council? Most towns used to have a council. You know, I live in Fleetwood, there'd be Fleetwood Town Council. It would have the monies from whatever it was drawing from. And it would invest in social housing. And when it built the houses, they were then called council houses because they belonged to the council. But then there is now private housing estates run by corporations or whatever. But Sheila lives in a council house that belongs to the council of where she lives, yeah. There's less and less council houses being built these days. Most houses being built, social housing, for rental, is private landlords. When I say private landlords, I don't mean one little poor person. I mean a group, private housing in a group. Council housing tends to be the cheaper end of the market. They don't raise their rents the same as private landlords can do what they want, really, basically. If they decide your rent's going up by £50 a week, they can put it up and there's no law. Whereas council has to get the approval of everybody and everything, yeah. Yeah, we say an estate, it means a group of houses. Like all our houses around here are privately owned, they're not rental. But I still live on Larkhall Estate, yeah. It's just what you would call the area. An estate tends to be houses of the same kind that were built at the same time. Like a council estate, there would be a load of houses built on a patch of land, all by the same council, all belonging to the same council. So that's a council estate, yeah. It's a bit like, it's just social housing, really, as you would call it, yeah. It started off when I was tiny. It was when they pulled the slums down. They had to build houses to put the people in who had lost their houses through slum clearance. The houses were deemed to be unfit. So the council at the time was the only people with any money who could build more housing for people to go in. And at the time, council houses were, oh God, a step up in the world. I mean, I lived in a private house, but it only had 2 up, 2 down. And we went to see these new council houses, and they were huge compared with our house. And they had a bathroom, which was, wow, most people in the 2 up, 2 down didn't have one. Didn't have a bathroom. Had an outside toilet, So it was like, oh my God, they've got a council house. It wasn't, back in the day, it wasn't something to be frowned about. It wasn't, oh, they're in a council house, can't afford a house of their own. When they were first built, it was like, oh boy, they're getting a council house. It was like a step up in the world, yeah. And I don't see why. What gets me, though, is people who rent. Some people, I'm not saying all people, I'm not tarring everybody the same brush here. Some people who rent, like my ex-next door neighbour, think that they don't have to do anything to the house. It's all the responsibility of the landlord, yeah. They don't look after the garden, they don't mow the lawn. Oh, it's the landlord, it's the landlord. No, it's not. You should have pride in where you live. You should mow your own lawn, like Sheila does. Sheila mows her lawn. Sheila tends to her garden, But some people, if they're in rental, they have no pride. The houses are really gone to seed because they won't do anything. They just neglect them. I mean, to me, if I had been living in a slum and somebody had given me a council house, I would have been over the moon. I would have looked after it. I would have done the garden. I would have done everything. Kept it neat and tidy. Not putting old prams and all sorts in the garden like some people do. Some people, there's always that category of people, isn't there, no matter what walk of life you're in, who don't look after their property. But it doesn't tend to be people who own their own property, and this is why people get the wrong idea that people who own their own property are snobs. They're not. It's just that they have pride in their possessions, yeah? Whereas some people, not the majority, some people just don't have any pride in the rental houses, yeah? I think, Lydia, it all depends on who's living in the projects. You'll always get them, no matter where, that don't look after the property. There's a little area here in Fleetwood where some of the people, you know, if you're from UK, when I say Onslow and Daisy, you'll know what I mean from Keeping Up Appearances. You know, the people with a broken down gate and old bits of cars and furniture in the front garden. There is that element around here with people like that, yeah. Hi, Connie. Hello there. Fleetwood is too blooming close to Blackpool, God, Tommy. I don't like high rises. I would never want to live in one. I'd be petrified of living in a high rise. I used to go and visit my friend, and she lived on about the 14th floor. And I could not have done that. I said, "You've only got one door. You know, what happens if there's a fire or anything? How do you get down? You know, oh God, no, I would hate that." There's some really tatty high rises in Salford. That's where my friend used to live. She was a nice lady and all that, but they used to congregate down the bottom of the, you know, in the communal doorway, intimidate you. I like Cass. Hi, Denise. It's the same, really. I mean, in an ideal world, you wouldn't have this sort of thing going on. But I just don't like the idea of only having one door. I like an escape route, if you know what I mean. I would not like to live in a high rise. I hope we don't see you back again in half an hour, Cass, because you can't sleep. Because the party's still going on. Put your earplugs in, put some music on very low, music that you like, very low. Then that might help you to blot it all out. I am very much a night owl, yeah. I'm definitely not an early bird. I had to be an early bird when I was working, of course, because you have to get up for a certain time to go to work, don't you? But once you retire, you know, your time's your own, isn't it? I don't tend to get up much before 9, 10, unless I've got an appointment or I'm going somewhere. Do I miss work? Not at all. Not at all. I miss my wool shop, yeah. But do I miss working at the job centre? No. No, I didn't like going to work when I worked at the job centre. I didn't get up thinking, oh, God, joy, I've got to go to work. Now, when I worked for myself and I had the wool shop, so I worked for my parents and I worked for myself, I did about, 40 years kind of in the wool shop. I loved it then. There was never a day when I didn't want to go in. I loved being there, loved everything about it. Hi, Daniel. How you doing? I'm eating the last of my crisps. No, it is sad if you're not happy in your job. I wasn't when I worked at the job centre, but I was too old to get anything else. I mean, I was 50-something when I had to lose my wool shop, and I was just so heartbroken. And I was glad to get any kind of a job at my age, because you can't live on the dole, can you? For goodness sake, you cannot live on benefits. How people do that, I do not know. Yeah, you're doing all right, Daniel. I'm all right, keep on clocking, you do, don't you? Keep going, you fool. I've treated myself to what was it? A mojito, yeah. If you're your own boss, then that's your fault, isn't it, Daniel? I loved being my own boss. I really did. Hated it when I... The thing was, you see, I'd been in business for so long and I had so much wealth of experience that when you have to get to another job, like I went to the job centre, and some bit of a person is telling me stuff and you're thinking, oh my God, that is not going to work. You have not thought that bit through, And, well, I was my own boss all those years. And eventually, monetary wise, it just didn't work out. The rug got pulled out from underneath me. I couldn't afford the rent, the mortgage. I was going through a divorce. My mother was very, very ill, and my dad had just died, and it just all came to a head. So I had to go working for other people that actually paid me. Because my accountant was going, you cannot go on like this. You're losing money hand over fist. But I was very, very upset when I had to lose my business. Very, very upset. Especially going working for idiots that are telling you things and you think, that is not going to work, I've got years of expertise and I'm telling you that is not going to work. Well, I want you to do it. I want you to do it. And I'm going, fine, but it's not going to work. And guess what? It didn't. So that did irk me a bit, having to take orders. Yeah, my bosses were all younger than me. I'm not as experienced, do you know what I mean? I wasn't as experienced at the job as they were, but I had more experience of life. And when you've got common sense and experience of life and other people, you kind of know when things are not going to work. But when they're sitting in their ivory towers making decisions, oh, try this, it might sound good to them on paper, but they're obviously not been down at the grassroots end of things and not had to deal with the people that we had to deal with, yeah. And you're like saying, well, in an ideal world, your idea might work. But we are talking about, I was in Salford, where there were third generation never workers, you know what I mean? Third generation, granddad, dad, never had a job in their life, lived on benefits all their life. It's very difficult to deal with anybody like that who's been, unemployed from birth kind of thing. Oh no. They used to laugh me. I, and it was always detrimental to us on the chiefs were making all the ideas up here, and the poor little Indians at the bottom were all saying, it's not going to work. But no, they were going, we got to try, got to try. What gets me is, I think, to be a good boss, you have to know the job. How many hours a week do you think people should work? Well, I always work 40. When I worked for myself, I probably worked about 60. But no, I think in order to do a job as a boss, I think you have to be able to do it from the bottom. I think the best bosses we ever had started at the bottom and worked their way up. The worst bosses that we had came from university. For some reason or other, the job centre seemed to think that they walked on water. Oh, they've been to university, they've got a degree. Hello. Have they got any common sense? Have they come up through the ranks? A boss that comes up through the ranks is a heck of a lot better than anybody that they draft in. I mean, at one time, the head of the job centre, the head of the DWP, came from a bank. Yeah. Why would you employ somebody who came from a bank to be the head of the Department of Works and Pensions? He knew nothing about what was going on. He knew naught. What does a guy in a bank know about running? But that was and they'd spend thousands on time and motion studies, and they'd get sort of people in to analyse what we were doing, paying thousands of pounds for these people. Ugh, idiots. It's the same, Janet, it's the same. What's this one? Oh. It's the same in any industry. They always think that somebody who's been to university is far better than Joe Bloggs, who's been on the shop floor for years and knows the job inside out, upside down, and do it with one hand behind his back. Do they promote him? No. They bring some twit in, don't they, off university? Oh, he's got a degree. Oh, all hail, he's got a degree. No. Oh, good evening, Marion. Yeah, I think the boss should have to come down on the shop floor, whatever business we're talking about, whatever company. They should be able to come on the shop floor, do the job, and then they can come forward with their ideas. They have a bright idea because they worked on the shop floor. Yeah, but wouldn't it be better if we did this, that, and the other? Fine, but don't come from your ivory tower and start telling me bits of things on paper that you've worked out should work out on a bit of paper, and it doesn't when you're actually on the... Oh, they do, especially the ones who come from university. Oh, I used to dread September when these kids come in from university, filling in the forms to claim unemployment benefit for the first time. They have not got a clue about life. First of all, they couldn't fill the forms in because they were kind of like almost illiterate, some of them. Couldn't fill a form in. And then secondly, they had inflated ideas of their station. I've got a degree. I want a job they used to write 35,000 is my lowest wage. And I'm like, oh, I'm in the real world. What do you want? And I'd say, have you got any experience? I've been in university for 3 years. Have you got any experience? Have you actually worked doing the job you want to do? No, I'm not working for nothing. I'm not working for nothing. I'm not volunteering. No. Oh, no, you don't get me working for nothing. Fine. So 12 months down the line, guess who's still unemployed? Yeah. They make me laugh, honestly. They do. Honestly. Yeah. I think if a boss has worked his way up, they know, don't they? And they are really good bosses. They know what a person can do, what a person is capable of doing, and you get happy staff. But when some idiot starts pushing everybody's buttons and trying to get people to do 10 times more work in an hour than they're capable of, you know. Yeah. You live in America. Well, you've probably got nicer weather than we have then, Marion. You probably have got lovely, lovely sunshine over there. And if you have, send some over here because we ain't got any over here. But when I was the boss, when I had the wool shop and that, I never asked my staff to do anything that I wouldn't do. You know, if we had to clean anything, I was helping, I was working alongside them. If we had to, you know, do the shelves off, move the stock around, I didn't just stand there and say, move the stock around, do this, do that, while I stood there and did nothing. You know, they were my staff, but to me, they were my equals. They were not my lowers. Just because I employed them, I didn't have this boss attitude. You know, if there was a dirty job, I would be in the middle of it as well. You know, I would be doing it with them. And I think that's what you should do if you employ people. You shouldn't put yourself, you know, sit in the office and direct them from afar. You know, they are your minions. You know, go and clean that shelf off. No, if you're not prepared to go and clean that shelf off, you shouldn't ask other people to do it. You know, that was the way I used to think about it. I mean, obviously, if I'd have been in charge of, like, say, 100 people or 50 people, then probably I would have had a different attitude. Because then I would have had to delegate. But when I've only got a staff of like 4 or 5, I didn't put myself above them, if you know what I mean. I never thought I was better than they were. Not at all, no. Admitted if there was any troubles or anything like that, the buck did stop at me, but that's something else. It's very hot. It's 95 degrees. Oh, gosh. It's 12 degrees C here. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. I'm sure somebody will calculate it out for me, but it's not very warm. To say it's August, it's not very warm. Yeah, well, that's what it should be. I mean, one of our job centre bosses, just before I left, we got a new boss at the job centre in Salford, and he'd worked his way up through the ranks, and he was brilliant. If somebody was off sick, he would just roll his sleeves up literally and jump in and do the job, you know. And I did have a lot of admiration for Nick because he, you know, he would be the boss when he needed to be the boss, but he wouldn't shirk away from anything that was nasty. You know, we had a lot of kickoffs, as you can imagine, you know, and anything to do with money, anything to do with stopping money, kick off with big style. He would never shy away from it. He would always, you know, interfere and say, what is the matter? What is wrong? Would you like to sit and discuss it with me? Yeah. He pulled the boss. You know, he calmed everything down. He said, I am, you know, in charge here. If you've got any problems, will you direct them to me and we will discuss it? He used to take the heat off us that were sitting there getting the, you know, from everybody. So he was a very good boss. But the boss before him would have gone and hidden. You know, if there was any kind of trouble, he would have been, well, I'm off, I've gone to the toilet, you know. But it was an advantage, me being older, I think, because when they used to start kicking off, they didn't do it so much with me. It was like kicking off with their mum, innit? Or grandma. You know, I said to one of them one day, would you talk to your mum like that? And he just looked at me. I said, honestly, would you actually go in your house, speak to your mother in the same way that you're speaking to me? And he said, no. I said, well, can we just calm everything down, please? And we'll just talk about it rationally without you swearing at me. And he just, you know, we had a sensible discussion about what was going on. Everything was fine. Whereas the younger lasses, you know, the ones that were on a par with them in the 20s and that, they couldn't get them to calm down. You know, they would just be effing and jeffing and shouting and bawling and throwing things at them and everything. Whereas I used to wade in and say, whoa, 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 come on, guys, let's just calm this down a bit, you know. So I think it does help when you're older and you've got more experience and you've got more, you know, the younger ones don't intimidate you the same. You're not scared of them the same. Maybe I should have been. Maybe I was the idiot. Maybe I should have been scared of them. But I kind of like waded in the middle and said, look, come on, guys, what's going on? You know, come and talk to me. You know, tell me what the matter is, you know. Oh, I don't like the dentist. No, I'm not going back to them. After swallowing a tooth, would you go back? Yeah, it's vanished, the tooth, so I must have swallowed it. Vanished completely. And all the teeth at the front are all rough. As Nathan said, it's like Artex cement to the back of my teeth. When you think I paid, what, £109 for a tooth that I swallowed, and £325 for 3 teeth and they're not right. I have never been to a dentist as rubbish as that in my life. And I've been to some dentists, believe me. I've been better off at the vets, I think. When you think about it, a vet diagnoses a dog or a cat or whatever, and the animal can't talk to them. And yet you get a doctor or a dentist and they don't take any notice of what you say. I think I'd rather go to a vet. If you had a choice, you could be a human being and you could go to the vets, would you go? Because I would. I'd go to the vets. No problem. I'd say you probably would find out. Oh. They are so rough and they've got sharp bits on them, Chris. They're like jagged at the back. You're baking a cake. Oh, way. We're all going round to Lizzie's for some cake. Tea or coffee? Are you asking what do I like? Coffee, please. Don't drink tea. I know I'm from the UK, but I'm not typical. I don't drink tea. Yeah, great. Lizzie is making us all a cake. What kind of cake are you making, Lizzie? Chocolate for me. Dairy milk. You still haven't got I haven't got a bite card. They wanted £200, she wanted, for a bite card. I said, no, thank you. I'll get the kind that they wear with the box in off Amazon. And I did. I paid £45 in Prestwich for my last bite card. And she wanted £200. Cake or biscuits? It depends on the kind of cake. Probably cake rather than biscuits. My favourite biscuits are shortbread fingers. They're my favourite ones. But I do like a bit of cake. I don't have a bath because I can't get out of it. So shower. Yeah, was it $650? That's what I pay. No such thing as an NH dentist these days in the UK. You have to pay. We'll all be running around like toothless wonders before long. No, they're still not right. They're rubbish. Would you like to pay £109 for a filling? And not only does the filling fall out, the tooth falls out and you swallow it. Yeah, I woke up and it wasn't there. So I presume I must have swallowed it because it wasn't in the bed. It didn't fall out in any food. So I presume it must have fallen out and I swallowed it. That's all I can think of. So I paid £109 for the pleasure of having a filling for about 3 weeks. I think I should have asked to see her qualifications. Hot or cold? Hot for a shower, cold for a drink. She said there was a year's guarantee. But what can she do? You can't retrieve it, can she? Oh, get one off Amazon. Get a bite guard like the boxers use. I don't eat either, pasta or pizza. I don't like either. It's no wonder people have got bad teeth. I've got so many teeth missing in my mouth. I've had them filled, I've had crowns put on, I've had root canal fillings, and they've all fallen out. It was my real tooth, Yolanda. It was my real tooth that she filled. And it just vanished. And because I'm getting old, my teeth are chipping to bits now. I bit through my old bite guard. I bit right through it. And then when I moved here, I lost it. I've now got a boxer's bite guard that I bought for about 10 quid, I think, off Amazon. There was no way I was paying 200 quid. Fish and chips every time, Tommy. Right, that's enough. I'm not eating any more chocolate. I'm diabetic, by the way. So I shouldn't be eating it anyway. I don't blame you, Chris. My son's pulled his own tooth out. No, I haven't found mine. I know I lost it. Lactose intolerant. I am a bit that way. I don't drink cow's milk. It upsets my stomach. Yet I managed to get to the age of about 75 drinking cow's milk. And then all of a sudden it started upsetting my stomach. Go figure. You know, you think, well, if you were going to be lactose intolerant, you'd be that from childhood, wouldn't you? But, yeah, I can't have anything with milk in if I go to a cafe anymore. I used to love a milkshake. But they only offer you, I think it's something like oat milk or something like that, which I don't like. They don't have any just plain non-dairy. Favourite milkshake has to be banana. Banana. And I like it with ice cream. Funny enough, ice cream doesn't upset my stomach like cow's milk does. And yet cows, I don't know what they make ice cream out of these days, but it doesn't upset my stomach. So, has to be banana. Strawberry's too sweet and sickly, and I don't like chocolate. So it has to be banana. Yeah, milk never used to. I cannot understand it. I mean, it's like, why are you suddenly diabetic after, when you're 70 odd years old and you've never been diabetic all your life? I was asking the diabetes nurse that, and she couldn't really explain it to me. She just said it was, your breaking down of your pancreas, yeah. My diabetes started after I had COVID, really. Or was it just before COVID? I know COVID made a mess of me. Never been the right since then. Oh, you're off out, are you, Lydia? Well, enjoy yourself wherever it is you're going. And good night to you, dear. I mean, Lord help me if I ever need a fresh set of, dentures. Gosh, I'd have to sell the house just to get a set of dentures. So you may see me one day with all gums, no teeth at all. I don't like almonds. I don't like. I would love to walk and travel. I really would, Tommy. I really would like to travel. No money to travel with. I can't walk anymore, but hey ho. Yeah. No, I don't like these. I don't like anything to do with nuts. I'm not allergic to nuts at all. I just do not like the taste of nuts. So when they offer me, everything's got nuts on. Everything's nuts these days. You get an ice cream, give you nuts on it. Why do you think people like nuts? I have to scrutinise food to make sure it's not got nuts in. I don't know how people go on if they're allergic to nuts because everything seems to have nuts in, unless it's just me. I just don't like the taste of them at all. I'm not allergic to them. Well, I don't think I am. Not allergic to them. I just don't like them. My ex-husband used to love salty, bloody roasted peanuts. Well, I didn't like going near him when he'd been eating them. I used to say to him, go and clean your teeth before you get in bed, will you, please? Why? Oh, nothing worse than peanut breath. I don't know where Rosie's gone. She's probably on my bed asleep. I've got a sort of fluffy, furry bedspread cover thing. It's purple, furry, and she absolutely loves it. No, I don't. What are corn nuts? No, I don't think I've had. I don't. You have different things in America than we do over here. We don't. I don't think corn nuts. I don't think we have corn nuts. Or if we do, yeah. No, they don't make me ill. It's just I don't like the taste of them. I used to eat nuts when I was young, but they were always the nuts that used to come in a shell and you used to crack them with nut crackers. And they were probably unadulterated. I mean, goodness knows what they do to nuts these days. Preservatives and Lord knows what else. But they don't taste the same anymore. And I don't like the taste of them anymore. And yeah, I used to eat nuts. I used to sit there with my nut crackers, eating nuts. I don't eat Cadbury's fruit and nut. I just eat plain or caramel or something. If it's got nuts in, I can't eat it. No. And yet the silly thing is, I will eat Toblerone. Toblerone's got some nuts in, but I like Toblerone. Preferably the white Toblerone. So why can I eat Toblerone? And enjoy the taste of it, and yet I don't like anything else with nuts in. I always buy my son a big Toblerone every Christmas. It's like a kind of, oh, I love after eights. It's kind of like a ritual with us. He's got to have a chocolate orange and a Toblerone. Ferrero Rocher, no, it's got nuts in. Don't like it. People will always keep buying me Ferrero Rocher, and I keep having to give them away. I don't know why people want to treat me with them. Bought you some Ferrero Rocher. Oh, thank you very much. One of these days I should tell them. Yeah, I don't know why I like a Toblerone. I always buy my son a giant Toblerone every Christmas and a chocolate orange. He's had that from being a child. It's like a ritual of Christmas. If he doesn't have one, and every Christmas he says the same thing, I wonder what this can be. Oh, Quality Street, yes, we always had Quality Street. But they keep messing about with the flavours, don't they? And the boxes are tinier and tinier every year. I've got a tin of, well, yeah, they're getting smaller. Everything gets smaller. Mars bars are smaller, Kit Kats are smaller, everything's smaller. Yeah, the prices keep going up, don't they? Nothing is ever the same. I mean, wagon wheels at one time when you was a kid. No way could you eat a wagon wheel. You'd have to share it with a friend at least, or share it with two friends, you know. They were that big. But now they're like a biscuit. And they've gone smaller and smaller and smaller. Everything is smaller. Except people's waistlines. They're trying to, brainwash us, aren't they? Into not being obese. But yeah, if they make things smaller, it doesn't make people eat one. It makes people eat two because they're too small. So in actual fact, they're eating more than they would have done if they'd have eaten the curly whirly in the first place. It's like all this brainwashing us into vegetarianism, or everything's got to be no salt and everything's got to be healthy, and things don't taste of anything. Oh, I'm still overweight. I've lost 3.5 stone and I'm still overweight, and I know I am. And my knees and my back would be a heck of a lot better if I lost weight. I know that they would. But when you get to my age, it's a lot more difficult. I found it wasn't as hard to lose weight when I was younger because I was more active. I used to walk about. I used to love to dance in the house. I know it sounds a bit daft, but I used to put a nice lot of music on and have a little dance around. When I was doing my chores, like my housework and that, I would put on, some nice music and zipping through everywhere, doing the dusting and the hoovering. But now, even with a bit of good music on, I'm a bit past all the hoovering and the dusting these days. Yeah, you don't like to think of it. Yeah, and I eat a lot less than I used to. But yeah, I can't lose the weight, yeah. Um, it's true, when you're older, you shouldn't eat as much. When I think of what I used to eat, I eat about half of what I used to eat. And yet I'm not losing weight. You think it would drop off you, wouldn't you? Hi, Nana Michelle. Hello there. We're talking about food, not losing any weight. But the fact that I've just eaten about 6 pieces of chocolate doesn't help, does it? I never will. I did lose a lot of weight one time when I was going through a lot of stress and that. And the doctor asked me, was I anorexic? I went, no. Yeah. No, I definitely was never anorexic. He thought I was because I was losing weight so fast, yeah. Yeah, I know, it's just like your metabolism just goes all to pot as you go older. I mean, I can't eat half of what some people eat. I mean, some people, you look at them and you think, I know why you are big, because they, as my dad would say, they eat one potato more than a pig, yeah. But yeah, other people just don't eat much at all. I don't eat a lot, but I hold my hand up. I do eat a lot of the wrong stuff, yeah. I've only done that when I've been ill, I think, Tommy, you know, when I had COVID, oh my God, it's a wonder I was still here because I couldn't eat at all. Never ate at all for about 3 weeks. I survived on Vimto. Oh yeah, that lady, she was. Yeah, you can be if you do things properly. If you want to be a vegetarian, fair dues. I would never be one, but fair dues. If you want to be a vegetarian, but at least go into it properly and make sure that you're getting the right nutrients and vitamins and everything else. You know, if you can't just say I want to be a vegetarian and not do it properly. I mean, I would never be one because I like me meat. I don't like a lot of meat. Hold my hand up, don't eat a lot of meat, but I do like meat. And I mean, I could never live without a bacon sandwich, that's for sure. But I think if you're going to be a vegan or a vegetarian, then you need to do it properly. You know, and make a study of make sure you're getting everything that you need, that your body needs. Because you know, a lot of like youngsters just have a fad. I want to be a vegan, don't they? I don't want to eat an animal. But they don't go into it, do they? Yeah, you've got to make sure you're balanced, aren't you, Chris? I mean, if you want to be vegetarian, fair dues. You know, there's a lot of very healthy vegetarians, yeah. The problem is, I think, is had to fetch a bounty bar out of the fridge. Sorry, Tommy. Tommy Munchkin, sorry. Um, yeah, if you don't have meat, if people are really anti-meat, which some people are, but you need to eat the equivalent sort of kind of vitamins, don't you, that you would have had in the meat, the protein and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh, I love fish. I absolutely love fish. I would rather have fish than any red meat, really. And I am so sick of pork. I really don't like pork. I used to eat salmon, but I went on a diet one time, and a lot of the diet, the recipes were salmon. And salmon was quite cheap at the time. And I always say I over salmoned myself because now I just don't really care for it. I like tin salmon, which is really weird, but fresh salmon, no, I'm not that keen. Not that keen. I used to, and I don't like smoked salmon. Ugh, wouldn't thank anybody for smoked salmon. Yeah, mackerel. I don't. I like sardines, but I'm not keen on mackerel, and I do not like kippers. Oh my goodness me, no. I don't like kippers at all. I don't know whether you know what kippers are if you're in America. They're like a sort of smoked herring, I think, are they, or something? Smoked fish of some description, yeah. My favourite fish, just ordinary plaice or haddock, I think. I'm not a fancy. I don't mind tin tuna. I don't like fresh tuna. Don't know what there is about fresh tuna, but I don't like it. I bought it one time thinking it was going to be wonderful, and it was awful. Didn't like it at all. I like tuna with mayonnaise, though. I don't like tuna on its own. You know, when you mix it up with mayonnaise to make like a spread. Oh, kippers are awful. I don't know how people like anything that's smoked. I don't like smoked fish at all. What we used to call finny haddock. I think it was like yellow stuff. That was awful. We used to have it at school, and nobody would eat it on our table. We used to get told off because we'd be giving the whole thing back. They used to serve everything in like little tray things, and we had to divide it up and serve it to the table. And nobody would eat the yellow fish. Nobody would have it. We used to get told off because we used to take it back on eating. All we'd have eaten would have been the mashed potatoes or whatever. And the dinner ladies would be going mad with us. Yeah, I like tinned. Yellow fish is fish that they smoke, you know? Smoked fish. I've only tasted caviar once, and I must say I didn't like it. It was very salty. Somebody let me taste some once for a treat. Cod roe. No, I'm just not keen on anything like that. I can never understand why there's all this great sort of boo-ha about caviar. It's really, really expensive, isn't it? You know, they pay so much for an ounce, don't they? Pounds and pounds for an ounce. And no, I wouldn't thank you for it. I do like some shellfish, you know, I like shrimps and prawns, but I'm not keen on oysters. I'm not keen on oysters at all. I'm the poor man, you know, I hate the cockles and the whelks and the, and the winkles, they used to call them winkles, yeah. But I don't like, yeah, cockles are all right, but I don't like oysters. I don't know why. They're like slimy to me. No, I'm a bit weird about raw fish. You know, when you get these sushi bar things and stuff like that, I wouldn't, you know, everything's going around on a plate, and I'm like, don't think I like the look of any of that. I would diet if that's what I had to eat. You know, they said, right, you can only eat sushi. That would make me lose weight because I don't like it. No, I'm not like, really keen. Oh, he did, Munchkin, yeah. He used to come round with a big basket. And they used to taste so good. He put loads of vinegar on them, and oh, they did used to taste good. Yeah. Mine, you can get like little worms and things and all sorts in any kind of fish, can't you? Puts you off, doesn't it, really? I mean, in the good old days, we used to find mussels and things on. When I lived in Wales, Conwy Harbour. We used to get mussels and everything, like fresh from the shore and stuff. Yeah, well, my uncle used to have a boat in Conwy Harbour. It never went anywhere because it had no engine in it. It was a big sailing boat. It was called a Rada. I used to spend loads of weekends when I was about 7 sitting on this boat that never went anywhere. Yes, I had a happy childhood in Wales. But my dad couldn't find a job and we couldn't find a house that we could afford. So we came back and went back to live in Royton again. But I loved Wales. I used to go to Towyn Beach a lot, but it wasn't like it is now. It was all pebbles though. And Rill used to be gorgeous at Rill, but I mean it's a bit scruffy now. It's a bit like Blackpool now, isn't it? A bit sad and sorrowful. But when, I was young, we used to go to Abergele, we used to go to Rill, Conwy, Betsy Coed, Llansannon, Llanroost, all places like that. Rose, Anglesey. Yeah, I liked it in Wales. But I was only a small child, so I didn't see the drawbacks. Yeah, Rill used to be absolutely gorgeous when I was, I'm 77, I'd be about 7, so we're talking 70 years ago. It was lovely. Rich and gorgeous, and houses were lovely, hotels were lovely. But I watched a programme on it not that long ago, and it's really gone downhill. But then again, like you say, so many seaside towns have gone downhill. I don't know why dropouts always seem to gravitate towards the coast. Although in Manchester, oh God, certain parts of Manchester you wouldn't touch them with a barge pole. Yeah. The part of Manchester I lived in was quite nice, but some parts are not. It's like most places, though. Do I like Manchester? Yes, I would go back in a heartbeat. Well, go back to the place I used to live in, which was north of Manchester. Yeah, I'm a city girl, really. Dumped in the middle of a seaside town. I don't know what I thought it would be like living by the seaside, but it isn't what I thought it would have been. There's no scenery here, it's just concrete. I've not been to Liverpool for many, many years. My niece loves the shopping there. She goes to the shopping a lot in Liverpool. Oh, you're off now, Yolanda. Well, thanks for your company, love. And thanks for watching my videos. I do appreciate your comments, as I do anybody who makes any comments, yeah. I've been making more videos this last week or so, purely because the family are not in. So when I'm in on my own, I can think to myself without much thought, I'll make a video. Or, oh, I've got this to talk about. Something buzzes in my head and I think, oh, I'll make a video. But when my family are here, I kind of have to. Oh, thank you, Lizzie. She's always in my corner, Lizzie, waving a little flag for me, yeah. Saw Dr. House take a huge tapeworm. Oh. Yeah. Oh, it must be awful to have a tapeworm. Ooh. People don't get it as much these days because it used to come from undercooked or pork that hadn't been kept properly. So I don't think people get tapeworms just like they used to. Thank goodness we don't want one, do we? My daughter-in-law, she's pork crackers. I think because it's cheaper. I don't mind pork now and again, but I don't want pork all the time. I would far rather. I mean, I used to buy diced turkey and diced chicken and things and do a lot more like stir-fry things when I had to cook for myself. Or I used to do, chicken in a casserole and stuff like that. Hi, Magali. Hello, how are you? No, I'm not much of a pork fan. I must confess, I'm really not. And we eat an awful lot of it. Oh, well, she buys an awful lot of it. So I don't like to tell her I don't eat a lot of it. There's a lot of my pork finishes up into the bin. No, I mean, since my teeth have been a bit off, I don't like anything I have to chew. Hey, Dawn. Anything I have to chew too much, I don't like. I'm a bit of a... I like chicken, really, I think. I did used to get the diced turkey that I used to put into, a casserole or a stir-fry. Well, purely because the turkey was actually a lot cheaper than the chicken was. Oh, barbecue. I love barbecue chicken. Much better than any other kind of chicken. Barbecue. I used to do a lot of stir-fry and casseroles and things when I lived on my own because, yeah, I never had the breast like grilled or anything. I used to like things I would make to last a few days. I'm not much of a cook. I don't mean I'm a rotten cook, but I just don't like cooking. It just doesn't float my boat. So I would tend to make something that would last me 2 or 3 days, and then I wouldn't have to keep cooking. I used to like baking hot pot, but done with white sauce, not the traditional way with gravy. And I would make shepherd's pies, and cottage pies. And I used to make a lot of things with baked potatoes, actually. I used to love a good baked potato. But I would make, like you said, chicken casseroles and things like that. But, but if I made a good thick soup that was almost like a stew, and that would last me like 3 days. So, it's amazing you can get away with less money if you cook like that. I never did put them in the freezer though, because if I put them in the freezer, I tended to forget they were there. But my favourite was I used to go to Berry Market, and I used to go at 4 o'clock, say on a Saturday, when they were what we call barking. In other words, they were shouting out that things were being reduced. And, come on, ladies, you can have this fish, this fish, this fish for so much. And I used to go and I would spend maybe, say, £30 for a month. And I would come back home and I would bag it all into individual portions, write on the bag with a Sharpie what was in it, like place, cod, whatever. When I'd got it, the date. And I used to do that. I used to get some lovely chicken drumsticks they used to do in Chinese sauce. They used to do. What are you doing, dog? She's snorting. And I would get the chicken drumsticks. Again, they would be reducing them because they didn't. If it was Saturday, they didn't want to keep them. And I don't think the market opened on a Monday. So, they didn't want to take them home and they couldn't refreeze them. So I used to get the chicken and mostly chicken and fish I used to get. I didn't get anything to do with beef. Never usually got beef. Oh, they used to do chicken parcels, like the breast with stuffing in the middle. And it was all done with string. I used to like that. And I used to do the sausages. I used to get sausages. As I say, I used to spend about £30. But that would be for the month, So I used to have the fish and the meat and everything for the month. But I very rarely bought anything to do with pork or beef. It was normally chicken and fish I would get, What are you doing, dog? She's creeping about under my feet here. Yeah, I don't like cooking every day. I just don't. And now I don't cook at all because, unless I'm on my own, obviously I'll cook when I'm on my own. But they don't eat like I do. And they say, well, you can cook for us. And I think, well, you wouldn't eat it anyway, because I'm a very plain cook. I don't like all these herbs and spices and stuff like that. As my son calls it, flavour. I don't like it. And I don't like curry or anything like that. What are you doing, dog? What are you doing? God, she's making some horrible snuffy noises under here. But I'm afraid I just got some ready meals from Marks and Spencer's this week. I can't stand to chop things up. And when I lived on my own, I had a seat, a tall seat that I used to sit on. And, I can't do it anymore. I can't sit and chop things. Well, I can't stand with no seat in our kitchen. I cannot sit. There's nothing to sit on while I chop an onion or something like that. I can't do it anymore. So that's why I won't cook for them anymore. No, my dad used to say that at Munchkin. My daughter-in-law, my brother, used to cook a lot of fancier stuff. And my dad didn't like going to dinner there because he used to say, I don't like my food mucked about with. I like to know what it is. My ex-husband was a bit like that. He liked to know there was a chop, there was some vegetables, there was some potatoes or whatever. He didn't like anything to be mucked about with. Yeah. Have I ever watched What's for Tea? No, do we have that programme? I very, very seldom watch cookery programmes except for the Hairy Bikers. I watch them because they're very down to earth. But I don't like other cooks where they've got about 94 different herbs and spices and a bit of this and a bit of that. And I don't like that. No, I haven't watched her. I haven't watched her at all, Lizzie. I didn't know she was there. No, I don't watch many cookery programs. I did used to like that other girl who went to live in Italy somewhere. She's a big girl. Can't think of her name now. She's in her 60s, I think. She went to live in Italy. Very small town in Italy. No, it wasn't Nigella. I think she was called Prue or something, was she called? Oh, the two fat ladies were fantastic, weren't they? I used to love them. I think the hairy bikers are like the male equivalent of the two fat ladies, aren't they? Because they drive around in motorbikes as well. I'm just trying to think what that lady was called. I'm sure she was called Prue something or other. She was a food critic for years and years. And then she just gave it all up and went to live in Italy. Little tiny village in Italy. Hello, word be true. Hello out there. No, I'm just trying to think. She's got a programme on the telly. No, it weren't Prue Leith. No, I'm getting it wrong then. She's a really big girl. She's probably about in her 60s. And she has a programme on telly that comes on. But she lives in this Italian village now. Not a big, fancy Italian village. And I like watching, is it Michael Roux? Is it that lives in Provence? What did you miss? We've been talking about food for about the last half hour. You know, what kind of food we like and stuff like that. That's what we've been talking about mostly. I can't think of the woman's name. Oh, but she's very down to earth. She cooks things that are like local to where she lives. Oh, put my glasses on. Sophie Gregson, that's the lady. That's the one. I like watching her. Yeah, Sophie Gregson. She cooks all the local dishes, you know, and she doesn't cook everything what I call too fancily. She tends to be more cooking what the people around her cook. You know, she really goes into the heart of where she lives and cooks their national dishes and stuff. She's not one for going overly fancy. I used to love the Galloping Gourmet, if you remember him. He used to come down, he was always our slosh wanted with a bottle of wine. Oh dear. Yeah, I used to love that Galloping Gourmet. I am Janet, yeah. I am Janet. Although on my videos I have a lady who insists on calling me Judy. But apart from that. But I don't correct her. Maybe I should start saying it's Janet. I'm here. A guest tonight? No, I haven't got a guest. It's just me. Yeah, I love the Galloping Gourmet. He had a heart attack though, didn't he? And he had to, you know, give up drinking and that, and then he wasn't the same after that. Used to call me Jan. I answer to most things unless they're rude. But I've got one lady who insists I'm called Judy. But still, it's not rude, is it? What's the name of the chef from Padstow? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I used to watch chefy programs. I used to watch him. You know, he used to do the Naked Chef. What was he called? I don't remember people's names. I'm getting terrible these days. Forgetful in my old age is the word. I just don't like people who are too pretentious. Yeah, he's got about 6 kids, hasn't he? You know the one I mean. I can see his face and I can't think of his name. Him that did about the school dinners, yeah. You know, the one who ranted on about the poor quality turkey twizzlers and the poor dinner. Jamie Oliver, that's the one. I used to watch him. Oh, Paul Hollywood's a bit of a dish, isn't he? Woohoo! Bit of a naughty boy, though, with his wife, wasn't he? But it was handsome. He's got sort of blue eyes, hasn't he? Oh, I watched him on Who Do You Think You Are? He was still with his wife at the time. It must have been filmed a long time ago. But oh, what's a, he's a gorgeous silver fox, isn't he, Paul Hollywood? Woohoo! Yeah, he was a naughty boy, wasn't he? But still, they always are they? Men given half a chance. Sorry, men who are on here. I was unfortunate enough to be married to one of those. Yeah, Jamie Oliver. I used to watch him a lot when he was called the Naked Chef, wasn't he? When he was young. But I mean, I don't watch, like you say, everybody watches like British bakery thing. I don't like that. I'm not one for all this cake baking stuff. What age is young? Well, anything less than 70 is young to me. When you get to my age, everybody's young. Oh, dear. Well, 30's young, yes. And 40's young. We were talking about this the other day. I mean, I'm 77. I don't lie about my age. There's no point. But when I was young, somebody my age would be really, really old, They would dress really old, they would look really old, and they would act really old. But whether it was because of poverty, because they didn't have social media back in the day, they didn't have anybody to sort of copy or look at and think, I don't look like her, or something. The ex-footballer who F's and Jeffs. They all do, don't they? A lot of people F and Jeff. Yeah, well, they did. But then bear in mind when you think about it, they had very little money, didn't they? They had no peer pressure. They all wandered about in a headscarf and slippers, didn't they? But they all looked, when you think about it, I thought my grandma was ancient, when I was little, and yet she probably was my age. No, yeah. Yeah, some of them. They are a lot livelier. Except I do sometimes watch. There's one or two people who come on on YouTube, and they act old, and they are old, and they dwell on their ailments. And when I actually look at them, they're only in their 50s. And I'm thinking, you're acting like you're so old. For goodness sake, you're only in your 50s. When I was in my 50s, I was in the prime of my life. I wasn't knackered like I am now. But I don't like. There's two classes of people, isn't there? There's the ones who are like very young when they're in their 80s, and the ones who are old when they're in their 50s, yeah. But the ones I'm talking about, the ones who enjoy bad health. Does that sound right? You know, they can make a whole video about their bad health. Gordon Ramsay. You know, they make whole videos, and it's not just one video, it's every week. They've got a different ailment. And you're like, oh, for goodness sake. And they've got mega followers. And I'm like, why do people want to tune in every week to hear about their ailments? No, but there's having ailments, isn't there? And there's enjoying them. I used to go to a knit club, and oh my God, it was like the doctor's waiting room, you know, comparing ailments. And I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, you're all about 20 years younger than me. And they were enjoying bad health, if you know what I mean. I had to stop going because I couldn't be doing with it. I'm like, oh, for goodness sake, lighten up. Let's talk about something happy and cheerful. You know, let's not talk about everybody's ailments. It was almost like the doctor's waiting room. What are you here for? You know? Yeah. Yes, I actually, it sounds odd, but most of my friends are a lot younger than me. I didn't choose it that way. But most of my best friends are probably 20, 30 years younger than me. My best friend was Sue, and she's a good 15, 16 years younger than me. And yet, I don't think of her as, you know, no. And yet, I have a friend who's 91, yeah. And yet, she's got more life in her than some of the 50-year-olds I know. I think it's all a matter of how people feel inside themselves. You know, being old is relative. Age is just a relative number. It depends on how you view yourself and how you think of yourself. I think if you think of yourself as being old, you will be old. Mine mentally, I don't think of myself as old. I realise I've got physical limitations, and that does annoy me intensely. I do not enjoy being unable to do things. It annoys me, really annoys me intensely. And I get so cross with myself because I can't do these things. I don't sit there thinking, oh my God, I can't do these things because I'm old, you know. I just get annoyed. Yeah, I get annoyed with myself because I can't do these things. I don't accept it, and I never will accept the fact that I have got disabilities. I will never accept it because my brain does not tell me that. My brain tells me I should be able to jog up to Fleetwood, you know. My brain says you should be able to do this. You should be able to go in your shed and tidy up all your wool without having to sit down after 5 minutes, you know, because your back's going, nah! You know, and it just annoys me. If I could go back in time, I would think I would be back to my 40s when I was newly divorced. Yeah, Kelly was much younger than me, yeah. One of my friends now, she's 50 something. Yeah. She's 20 years younger than me. Yeah, I think I wouldn't want to go back to being a teenager or anything like that. I mean, obviously, I would like to go back to my 20s and not get married, but that's not going to happen, is it? But I think I had I had my teenage years when I was in my 40s, I think, you know. I did a lot of the things that I never did when I was younger that I should have done before I got married. I was a bit of a rebel, you know. I used to go out dancing, used to go out doing things. I was still working, so I had money, and, you know, I did a lot of things when I was in my 40s, which I did enjoy. So, yeah, I think I would like to go back to my 40s. But, you know, I just got rid of the husband and just started living my life again, realizing I wasn't the thing, you know, the person he said I was, realizing that I wasn't unattractive and that I actually, you know, people did want to talk to me. And, you know, oh, you're going again, word be true. Okie dokie. Yeah, well, I won't be staying on that long because I've got to get these dogs to bed. A favourite decade got to be the 60s. Gotta be the 60s. I loved the 60s. They were my era. You know, the clothing and everything about the 60s was me. Yeah, I enjoyed my 60s until I got married, but that was the late 60s when I got married. I got married 68. But up to 1968, I enjoyed my life. I enjoyed the 60s. I liked the music, I liked the clothes. I liked everything about the 60s, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was never sort of like, I mean, admittedly, when I'm watching the telly, I watch these, you know, where they play non-stop music over and over again. They do it from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. Um, I prefer the older music than I do, like, obviously, the modern music today. I can't even understand it all this K-pop stuff and all that. And I don't like rap, and I never did like punk. I don't like this rap music. I don't understand it at all. Where they talk on one note, you know, not me at all. But I'm an old fogey, so obviously. I used to laugh at my dad when my dad used to say, "Oh, the Beatles can't sing. Give me a bit of, you know, what's he called? That crooner, not Bob Hope, Bing Crosby." My dad was a Bing Crosby man. They don't make songs like they used to, blah de blah de blah. And now I'm the same. I'm thinking, what on earth is that music supposed to be? When I lived in Prestwich, I used to live right near Park Life, and they used to have the most horrendous people on. I can remember listening to Oasis once, and they might have sounded okay in the park. Yeah, Prestwich, that's where I used to live. But they didn't sound nice in my back garden. Yeah. Some of the artists they used to have at Park Life were disgusting. Yeah, I lived in Prestwich. It was God's country. I'm sorry I left it. So sorry I left it. It was a really nice place. You could get on a tram, you could go anywhere to Bury, Bolton, anywhere, all Manchester, everywhere you could go. It was very cafe culture. You could go out and you could go in any cafe that you wanted. Here, it's like a desert. It's miles before you find anywhere that sells coffee. You know, whereas I only had to go up the road. And like I had a Marks and Spencer's, I had a Tesco, I had an Aldi, I had a Lidl, you know. I had some wonderful, you know, cafes and places. Here, ugh, cultural desert. No, we used to have Part Life, and then we used to have Festwich, which was all, it was more like wannabes and tribute acts and stuff like that. And that was right next to my back gate. And some of the ones they used to have on there. And I used to hate it when the punks came because they'd be screaming down them. Oh. Oasis, no, they were absolute. They were live. They were absolutely rubbish live. Well, they were when I used to hear them in my back garden. I don't know why they were rated as much as they were. No. I don't know whether they'll ever get back together again. They keep talking about it. When was this? No, it would be in the thousands. It was just before they split up. They did the Part Life. Only weeks before they split up. No Part Life's going on now. His voice never was. What do you mean it went? He never had one. It's only the kids that thought he did. Yeah. Yeah, they still have Part Life, but it's got a bit violent now. My niece lives just round the corner from there. I lived just far enough away not to have them yelling in my ear. But when they used to do the band setting up and they used to do the testing, it was like, ugh, the guitars, it'd be so loud, and the drums. And I was about 2 miles away. It used to be dreadful. And the state of the park when they'd all gone home, oh, what a disgrace. And they never found out who killed that bloke, did they? Blur. Oh, I think they came as well. They had a load of people been to the Park Life over the years, yeah. Been going on for about, 10 or 15 years now, I think, the Park Life. Everybody moans about it that lives nearby. Because they churn up the fields, they park everywhere. They wee in everybody's gardens and worse. They're being sick everywhere and they're off their head on drugs. And oh, it must be terrible for the people who live nearby. It was bad enough for me living a couple of miles away. It's like mesh, isn't it? I've made it before, though. It does look nice when it's finished. I'm just not into all this Korean music and K-pop and all that stuff. You know, all these little Korean boy bands that look like girls, you know. Not into that. But I'm old, as I said before. Probably young people have got a whole different opinion. I've not got that much more to do. Yes, I do. Sorry. I've got another that much to do on this side. Got that much to do. Oh, the world's gone. I'm glad I'm not young now. I wouldn't like to be young and living in this current climate at the moment with the knife crime and everything, and everybody, people can't go out unless they get legless and they start fighting, and then the knives come out. And I mean, in my generation, we used to go out for a night out and have a good time and go home, and there wouldn't be any trouble. You might get a couple of fellas having a fight, but that was generally just two people having a fight, and just with fists. They never had anything else, they never went looking for a gun or anything. I used to be reasonably safe, going home and doing everything, yeah. I've never been into jazz. My brother loved jazz, but I've never been into it. Traditional jazz I could understand, but all this modern jazz sounded like so many different people playing so many different tunes all at once. I never, got into that improvisational kind of jazz. I never got into that at all. Your bed's calling, well, mine is as well. It's getting to the witching hour, isn't it? Yes, it's almost the witching hour. I don't really have a favourite musician. I used to listen to a lot of Andrea Bocelli at one time. Then I liked Il Divo. But I also like reggae. So so I don't have, and I like ABBA, which everybody goes, oh, ABBA. But I liked ABBA, yeah. But I don't really have a favourite type. I don't go with the real opera, not the real opera. Like Il Divo and Andrea Bocelli aren't real opera. But yeah, I like Boyzone, Westlife. So I don't really have a sort of something that I gravitate to. No, I don't really. Yeah. I like Freddie Mercury, yeah. I like Queen, yeah. I had all the records of Queen. Yeah, quite eclectic really with my taste in music. I mean, like you say, Boys to Men, yeah. When I was younger, I used to listen to the Beach Boys, obviously, things like that. And I used to love the Everly Brothers when I was a kid. Everybody else wanted Cliff Richard and Elvis Presley, and I wanted the Everly Brothers. I was different. Yeah. Yeah, I used to listen to the Beach Boys in the 60s, yeah. And Mamas and the Papas, yeah. I think, your taste changes as you grows older, but that doesn't mean to say I don't like listening to the older ones, yeah. Yeah, California Dreaming, yeah. Yeah. I just don't like some people are like Elvis. It's got to be Elvis and nobody else but Elvis. I was never one of those, no. I used to listen, I suppose, oddly to Elvis, but I was never crazy about him. Never crazy about Cliff Richard or anything like that. No. I just used to drift about a bit. You know, if I liked a song, I liked it. Oh, no matter who it was with. Yeah, I've never been fanatical about, any one. Like some people were Tom Jones fans. I mean, I liked him, Tom Jones, but he was never like, oh, Tom Jones, way, you got to go see Tom Jones. No, he didn't. Yeah. I loved the way Stevie Nicks dressed. I always wanted to dress like Stevie Nicks, yeah. Who is Tom Jones? Yeah, I liked his songs and I liked watching him, but I was never like, fan club Tom Jones, Tom Jones, Tom Jones. I never have been with any one person really. I just liked across the board, yeah. I'd like a song by one artist and a song by another artist, and that was me, yeah. But I love the way Stevie Nicks used to dress. When she used to wear those like wedding dresses and flounces and all sorts of stuff like that. Yeah. You see, I like different people singing different things. Like I like Disturbed singing the Song of Silence. I like K.D. Lang singing, what did she sing? Hallelujah. There's certain like songs that stick out in my mind. Not so, because they are. I don't like the rest of the stuff that Disturbed does. I probably wouldn't like the rest that K.D. Lang does, but it's just a certain song done in a certain way, yeah. that sticks in your head and sticks in your mind. Fleetwood Lang. I don't know whether there's tribute acts for all sorts of people, isn't there? There was one here the other week, for Meatloaf. It was a Meatloaf tribute in the local pub. Prestwich used to have a load of tribute bands that used to come to the Longfield Centre. I never went to see them, but they did. Yeah. Yeah, I used to go to a lot of concerts, but not one particular. I mean, I've been seen the Beatles, seen the Rolling Stones, Jerry and the Pacemakers. Sinead O'Connor, no. I used to like one thing that she sang, that one that was always in the charts, but she was always a little bit on the weird side for me. You know, her beliefs and the way she was. I never got into her. No. Yeah. No, I used to see all this Electric Light Orchestra, the Everly Brothers, Little Richard, Chuck Berry. I said the Rolling Stones, didn't I? Barron Knights. Seen a lot of different acts when I was younger. As I say, I enjoyed my teenage years. Things were not as expensive then. I'd seen Long John Baldry, I've seen Rod Stewart, long before they were famous, really. It was when you could go because the tickets were within reason, you know. I think I paid like about £7.50 or something to see the Beatles, which is unheard of like now. I mean, they've all got a bit too big for the boots, haven't they? Have I met any well-known people? What's he called? Les Dawson. Met Les Dawson. I've met, oh God, what was he called? I got my cuff, he got his cufflink fast in my jumper. Tony Christie. Les Dawson, he was lovely. He used to come in the wool shop. His wife used to knit on the knitting machine long before he was famous. His first wife, the one who sadly died with breast cancer. He was lovely. He was absolutely lovely. And so was Tony Christie. He was very nice. I met Fufu Lamar, if you know who Fufu Lamar was. I'm trying to think who else I've met. I met a few people who were on Granada. You know, they used to do the news and different things like that. I can't think of the names now, but I met a few of them. They were quite nice, yeah. Yeah. Oh, and Terry Duckworth, what's he called? Nigel Pivaro. I met him. He's a big-headed beggar, he is. He used to sign on at the job centre when he was in between work, Nigel Pivaro. I met quite a few. Not major stars. I've never met people like Tom Jones or anybody like that, no. Never met any of them. Yeah, I've been okay with the ones I bumped into, but they weren't like big stars, were they? You know, that I met, well, apart from Tony Christie. And he was absolutely superb. Oh, when I met George Best, I literally bumped into George Best. I was running around the corner because I was late for a hairdressing appointment in Manchester. And he had a gentleman's outfitting shop. And I literally ran slap bang round the corner into him, and I fell on the floor. And it was my fault completely. And he picked me up. He was such a gentleman. And he was absolutely, you know, he apologized. He wanted to buy me a coffee. He picked me up, dusted me down. He was absolutely the most gentlemanly person I ever met. I mean, he literally, sadly, you know, the alcohol got him. But when I literally bumped into him, he was, you know, on the way up. He was young. He was the big star. But he was absolutely fantastic. He said it was his fault. I ran into him and he apologised to me and said it was his fault. Yeah. Offered to buy me a coffee, you know. My ex-husband, of course, he was a big United fan. He said, "Did you get his autograph?" I said, "No." Never entered my mind saying, "Oh, now when you pick me up, can you sign my sleeve or something?" No. Do I like any sport? No. No. Not a sporty person at all. When I was young, I used to be into field events, you know, like running, relay, things like that. And then I damaged my knee when I was 13, and that was the end of that. But I could never play any game that involved a ball. I can't track a ball. I've got something wrong with my eyesight that I don't track a ball. You know, I cannot play like badminton or anything like that. It's like I've got a hole in my racket, you know, everything goes through it, you know, past it. My son used to get so cross with me, you know, playing table tennis and that. Mum, you're not playing it properly. You're not playing it. You're being silly. I just cannot hit. I go like that and the ball's gone over there somewhere. But it is a registered thing that you don't track with your eyes. My eyes track differently. Yeah. But I don't like, oh, my ex-husband, he put me off football for life. We only had the one TV back in the day. And of course, it only had about 3 channels back in the day. And there was always football on one of them somewhere. And he would watch any team, anywhere, anything. It didn't even matter if he didn't understand the language that they were talking, he would still watch it. And I used to get so fed up. I'd be sitting there trying to ignore it, reading a book or doing my knitting, and this football. And if it wasn't that, he was into horse jumping, not horse racing. He didn't like racing, horse jumping. And then he'd be watching snooker and everything. Bear in mind, we had the one telly. So I actually went and bought myself a tiny little black and white portable. It was only like that. And I went and put it in the dining room. And I had a little tiny aerial, so the reception was rubbish. Yeah. So I used to go and sit in there. And he used to say, "Why don't you come in here and sit with me?" "Because you're watching effing football, that's why." "Well, what's the wrong with watching football?" "Because I don't want to watch it." He would find some kind of sport. I could never watch anything at all. I never got into Coronation Street, EastEnders or anything like that because there was always some sport on the other side. You know, my ex-husband was absolutely fanatical Manchester United. Fur. Season ticket, yeah. No matter how poor we were, we had to scrape up the money every year for his season ticket, yeah. No wonder I hated it, is it really? Oh, and I used to watch cricket as well. Cricket, badminton, tennis, anything. I could never watch anything I wanted. I never watch any serials or anything. You know, never watch anything. I used to read. Yeah. I even bought a knitting machine, so I used to go upstairs. And then he used to complain because, of course, it was going zzz, 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 zzz. And then my little boy would be shouting from the other room, "Mommy, will you stop it? I'm trying to get to sleep." I used to go and sit in the bath and take hour-long baths with a book just to get out of the way of the football. That's how much I hate it. Yeah. I don't watch TV much at all. It's not been on at all today, actually. No. TV's not been switched on at all today. Watching Millionaires Don't Care. Oh, I don't watch much. I don't watch much television at all. Don't watch it at all. No. They don't have things on there that I want to watch. They never have any like, well, they have sewing bee, don't they? But they never have any crochet, knitting, or any kind of bee. You know, they do in America, I think. They have a things like that on channel, but they don't over here. When, you know, they have this create and craft, but it's only because they want to sell you something. It's not because they want to teach you how to do anything. No. But I mean, I used to watch sewing things when I was younger, because it used to be on where they were actually teaching you how to sew a dress or teaching you how to sew a skirt. Anne Ladbury, she was called. I still remember her name. And she used to, you know, show you how to put a waistband on a skirt and things like that. But people, young ones today, are not interested in that sort of thing. There used to be a lovely knitting program on there that used to be on. And but we're going back into the 60s or the 70s. But nowadays, people would not be interested at all. And don't talk to me about that stupid woman that used to do them crafting things. They used to start off doing something and never finish it. How they actually got that job, I do not know. But can't think of her name now, but she used to rile me up something terrible. I don't watch reality TV. I hate it. I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here. Well, which is a celebrity? Who are they? Never heard of them. Do I care? No. Do I care if they collect any stars? Do I care if they eat any worms? No, I don't care at all. No. No, you don't recognise them. You don't know who they are. You say, who are they to somebody? And they say, oh, they were on The Only Way is Essex. And I'm like, what was that? The Only Way is Essex. Don't watch that. Don't know it. Yeah, I'm a celebrity. Get me out of it. Oh, no. And these quiz games, they get on my nerves every afternoon. It's like one after the other, after the other, after the other. You know, the chase, the this, the that, the other. And I'm like, no. Quiz shows, yeah. Who the heck wants to watch quiz shows? The afternoon television is one after the other, after the other, after the other. And then they start then with Gogglebox, don't they, and all that stuff, or Naked Attraction. Who wants to see a load of whatnots walking past? You know, how would you choose a partner looking at their bits? Nah. Nah. Love Island, what the heck is that rubbish? Ugh. Hello there, Jill, yeah. Naked Attraction is the word. But I mean, Love Island. It's just encouraging people to jump in bed with each other, isn't it? You know, what is going on? You just got home. Where have you been? To your dad's? We're just talking about weird TV programs and how I don't like quiz shows and stuff like that. And how I don't watch any sport, because sport's not my cup of tea. I've never watched Love Island. I've seen bits of it because you can't help it, can you? But see little snips when they come on. But no. I mean, when you talk to some young girls and the only aspiration they have is to be a TikTok star or to be a celebrity on Love Island, and I'm like, no, you don't want to. Oh God, I'd disown if I had a daughter, I'd disown her if she wanted to go on Love Island and sleep around with half of them that's on there. I think don't be such a tramp. Come home. Have more respect for your body and come home and stop sleeping with all these people. You don't know them. Most people don't bother about offending people on here. We tell it like it is, apart from we don't do religion, homophobic and things like that, but you know. But no, I just don't understand half these TV programs. I certainly don't want to watch them. I'd rather watch the reruns of things like It Ain't Half Hot, Mum. Yeah. No, my son has got tattoos. I don't particularly like them, but it's his choice and he does them. But I don't like tattoos on the face, you know, like neck and no. My son's tattoos are on his legs and his arms, you know, so they're not like visible when he walks towards you. You know, I just I don't like this craze with tattoos on their face and necks, and I just don't. Oh. They're going to look weird when they get my age, aren't they? Can you imagine me full of tattoos at my time of life? What would I look like? All my wrinkles, you know, gone into me tattoos. No, no, God, no. You know, it's like, what's a person my age going to look like with big fake balloons sticking out the front? What is Katie Price going to look like in her 70s? She looks ridiculous already, in my opinion, but, you know, I can't understand, you know, like all these, like, big duck lips and stuff. You know, when your skin's stretched, it never goes back. That's why old ladies have wrinkles, because it's stretched and it doesn't go back. So what's their lips going to do when they go back down again? You know. Yeah, but what's the boobs going to look like when they either pop or they have to have them tuck out? They're going to have all this skin, aren't they? Like dangling along. Oh, God, no. At least my wrinkles are natural wrinkles. Yeah. Grow gracefully, you know. I don't want big fake boobs and big fake lips and those. What's going on with them eyebrows? What's in those drawn on like scraped eyebrows they're all going for? What do they look like? Yeah, I mean, look at, Katie Price, she's had these great big gazongas, hasn't she? I looked at her the other day and I thought she looks like a man in drag. You know, what's she done that to herself for? She was a pretty girl once upon a time, you know. It's kind of, I just don't have that addiction. Obviously, I don't have that addiction. Otherwise, I wouldn't look like I do, would I? But at least when I move my face, things move. No, we don't talk the trans issue. No, we don't. That's one thing we don't go there, no. But she does. She does look like a man, I must admit. But no, I don't understand. I just really... I can understand somebody having a little nip and tuck, you know. You know, just a little lift. I can understand it. If anybody wants to go down that alleyway, I can understand it. But not to go over the top. No, no. Yeah, well, this little Cinderella has been on for 3 hours and 18 minutes and 52 seconds, if you wish to know that. So I am now going to see if I can gather these dogs up and try and convince them that they need to go for a wee and then go to bed. And then hopefully my son will be back tomorrow. Hopefully, and he can take them for a walk because they're getting a bit giddy. They like, well, Rosie likes long walks, otherwise she gets very giddy. And she has got very giddy. She's been jumping all over me, and she actually scratched my arm today. She actually scratched my arm. Can you see it? She didn't do it on purpose. She was just getting giddy. She jumped up and scratched all my arm, scratched the other arm as well. So, thank you all very much for your company, and hello, Tommy, and maybe we see you again. I'm on here Saturdays from 9 o'clock if you are interested in joining us again, Tommy. And we will say good night to everybody and thank you all for your company. And I'm sure Chris is lurking there somewhere. So bye, Chris, bye, Nathan, bye, everybody else who's on here, bye, Jill, Denise, whoever's left on. And yeah, we normally have a good chit chat. We talk about most things, Tommy, but we tend to leave out religion, homophobia, what else do we, colour, you know, things like that. We tend to leave all that out, yeah. So good night, everybody, and thank you very much for your company. And if you like my videos, I'll probably be making more until I have to stop when we get teenagers here and little 5-year-old brats. But apart from that, yeah. So bye for now, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye for now.